throw us down
I
the
think the
side.
problem with that is that's going to be like an extra dimensional space within an extra dimensional space, and we'll all
Won't
wind
that
up
be
in the
fun to
astral
see
plane.
what happens to the party whenever she bamfs it out of
Ooh.
Yeah. No, well, she does have a climb
No.
speed, so she doesn't have to bamf it out, right? She could just climb down.
Well, I guess.
No, I've got a plan, but I need to rest.
It didn't sound very reassuring.
No, it's super easy. I looked up calculations online. I know what I can do. I even asked Ryan about this, and he gave me this cheeky. Well, Lucas would know, but Agmar would have to roll for it.
Okay, I have an idea. We'll throw one of the guys that we killed over the side. We'll throw everyone into the black hole. Then I'll throw my spear down onto the guy, and I'll sand shift down there.
And then you
reappear,
still got
open the black
200
hole.
feet to go. You can only throw it 60 feet.
Oh,
Okay, so we'll throw a few guys down at different intervals.
Oh my god.
We do. There's not. We haven't gone a way down, right? We're
Okay,
just
so
honestly just like.
Kevin, if you can jump down to that platform 100 feet down, I might be able to throw my spear at you.
I was
Yeah,
talking
right.
about party members. I was talking about the dead guys that we could only be killing. We just have to throw some dead guys over the side.
I
And
don't think
No.
you can baff beside dead guys.
We could
it doesn't
finally
say
make
anything
Preston be
against
useful
dead
to the
creatures.
party.
It just says creatures.
No, I can fabricate something like 4,000 feet of rope if I have the spell.
You said that
4,000
about-
feet worth of hemp.
You said that about building a bridge.
Oh,
Will it
sorry,
take you
not
3
fabricate.
months?
It's no. I can do creation, 5th level spell. I can make a shadow rope last for 24 hours, 4,000 feet long.
So I'm sorry, but we're sure that there's no way out, that we can just walk down.
Oh no, we could definitely walk down the way we came in, but we can't guarantee that those guys aren't still coming.
We
2
never found
every
the
6
off
seconds.
switch.
Yeah, so we really probably don't want to go back the
So
way we
it's
came.
either we rest and fight our way down to the bottom of the tower, or we rest and then I come up with some shenanigans to climb down the edge of the tower.
Which we've already rested for an hour once, and so 6 seconds times 2 times an hour.
It's multiple
Plus
thousands of people
time
that
we've
could be
already been
fabricated.
here. There might be a lot of bad guys in there. There might not. I mean, they may have just, disappeared when we killed the guy, but seeing that we still had to fight them off as we killed the guy, my hopes that they randomly disappeared are not high. But there's lots of information in the tower I would really love to get my hands on.
Cure to vampirism?
Who knows?
Oh yeah, we
I
could do that here.
Probably. Yeah, we can just wooden stake Nari, throw her
Just
over the
use
side.
The tower itself as an improvised stake on Nari. Bring her all the way up to the tippy top.
I can do it.
Me and one of my coworkers were joking around about D&D time, and we've been. And how long has it been? Like it's been 12 hours, right? All this.
Since we arrived at
The statue.
Sunken Queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
been 12 hours.
And how long have we been doing this real time? Like a month, 2 months?
Well, with all the gaps, I mean,
because we have like
we're close to 2 months, I think.
See, that's so funny. That's hilarious.
Found a way to slow down time.
Takes us much longer to die. Still die. We've been dying for 3 months and we haven't even realized.
So I have a note. Let's see, November 3rd. We encountered the undead inside there. I date every session that I start my notes.
Oh, jeez.
So
That
November
might be
3rd.
smart. 'Cause
November
then you can
3rd
be
is
like,
when we
oh,
started.
well, now I can go look at the VOD.
Well, it's that, and it's just nice to keep track of like how long in between things happen. So, yeah. So it's been 3 months since we entered
3 months in a
the
space
tower.
Which was
of 12 hours and
literally
or not the tower,
last
the statue.
year.
Yeah, it was last year.
And we've been in the desert since June or July.
Oh yeah, probably.
It's been a long time. To be fair, in game it did take us a month or so to walk across the desert.
Yeah.
You entered the desert back in May.
Oh, fuck. That's
Yeah.
even longer.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Almost a year we've been away from MistHaven.
In real time.
In real time, yeah. Rafal would have murdered us if we stayed away from MistHaven that long. Otherwise,
I don't know. He seemed pretty hell bent on going this path. So
Yeah.
but now that he has his crown,
It's his crowning achievement.
oh. I saw Nick hop on his phone, but
He said he's going to be like 30 minutes late.
oh, okay, cool. We can talk.
no pressure. We're just at the top of a death tower.
I'm really sorry about my puns, y'all. It's just that whale, and I was on Reddit, and I'm like, oh, how can I input this into a sentence? I found my true porpoise.
You're all good. Ryan loves puns, no matter how much everybody else
yeah.
might hate them.
No, I love puns too.
We
more
love
the
them,
merrier.
but we say we hate them. We don't know why. We just do.
It's
To
like
be honest.
you hate you
It is
you
the
love
way.
you love to hate bad movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
No,
I
I'm
feel
all
like it's
for
because we're
making
just
fun.
jealous we couldn't think of the puns first, so that's why we hate on them.
Jealousy.
Yeah. It makes the most sense.
So
Cats.
go ahead.
Oh no, I just thought Cats would be a movie that was so bad it was good, but turns out it was just so bad.
That's what I heard. A lot of people just didn't like it.
No.
I feel like it's because the cats look really creepy. Like, I get that they're going with, like, the Broadway.
They should have just filmed people in cat costumes then.
Yeah,
But
they tried too hard.
my friends went to go see it, and I'm like, and I was on the fence about just bringing some wine or just getting drunk and watching it, and they came out, they're like, no, it's not worth the $5 we spent. It was bad.
Just buy 2 bottles of wine and be happier.
So speaking of terrible movies, I was rewatching some of our highlights from Ben's campaign, and my God,
Jeez.
that was so much fun.
We had some times, that's for sure.
I don't know how we survived some of those situations.
I really don't either.
Things just got so bad so fast all the time.
Things just got a little out of hand.
Oh yeah. Oh, whenever I need a
Francesco
pick
would
me up, I
always
go watch that.
shoot somebody.
Like what? We oh, here's a castle filled with enemies, and we're just gonna walk in and somehow
We found a way to aggro all of them at the same time.
I think that was your fault, Ryan.
yeah, you know, I was like, you know,
Thunderous
stuck
Smite.
in here. Need to let the party know that I'm stuck in here. So gotta get them a signal.
Piss everyone off.
Hey, this makes a 300-foot explosion sound. That works.
So let me give
No
you some
more
context,
space
Rachel.
for the cat.
I was playing a rogue / ranger, and I think we had a bag of holding, and I put Ryan's character in the bag of holding. We snuck into the castle, and then we were slowly like stealth killing these guards, and then Ryan went one door, and I was hiding because there was another guard coming, and he thunderous smite, and the entire castle.
Because the door that Ryan opened turned out to be like the warlord of the castle. The
You
big
opened
bad
it up,
evil
a giant
guy that we
wizard
were
was right
hunting
there.
for.
We're like, oh hey, yeah, no, I'm not supposed to be here. Let me just
He rolled better initiative than me, and he was kicking the crap out of me, if I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weren't
No,
you,
yeah,
like,
you
on,
almost
like,
died.
2 hit points after 1 round?
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm about to go down, and I'm still way far away from the rest of the party. So I need to let them know this is where I died, roughly.
Yeah, and then
We
They're
were
gonna
all,
res-
like, waiting for a signal, and we're like, I guess that's the signal, but I thought we were supposed to be sneaky, but no, okay, we're just going in now, okay.
Yes,
and,
again.
and then Ryan had a parapet of health where you automatically stabilize. So the bad
Yep.
guy killed him, basically. He stabilized on this stairway, and I'm like, okay, well, that just went off, and now everyone's coming out. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to book it outside of the castle, and then I got attacked by gargoyles and thrown into into the moat and almost
Yeah,
killed by
gargoyles.
alligators. It was so
So
bad.
it was just like one thing happened after the other.
Oh yeah, no. We were trying
We
to
still
storm
won.
the castle because we got the signal, and there's just like this freaking mob of, what were they, frogs?
There were
Frog
those
goblins?
Yeah.
bullywug frog
Bullywugs.
people things,
Bunch of bullywugs,
lizard
yeah.
folks.
But it was like they were tunneling through this narrow passage, and we're just like being completely overran, and we're just like, fuck. All I remember is we put a web, and it worked really well. We funneled it down to like 1 at a time. And we
Yeah,
were like, wow, that was lucky.
the rest of the party was like they were going through the battlements and they got all these like cool battle lines and people coming through and getting stuck in the web and people shooting and stuff, and Ryan and I are like screaming with our heads on fire and trying to figure out
Flailing
how
for
the hell
our
we get out.
lives.
And then I think in trying to find you guys, I ended up in a tower, like finding spiders. And that
Oh
was
my god,
definitely
yeah,
not
you went up to the
guys.
first
Yeah, like
tower, there was
10
a room of
rounds
10
later,
spiders.
they made it to a different tower as we were leaping off the walls again, or something like that.
Yeah, it was
Basically,
a
we
nightmare.
had flip-flopped locations.
Yeah,
was
Ryan and I
bad.
ran outside of the castle and came back up through the carnage of all the dead people, and we finally met up with them. It was great.
Because we went up the tower, and since Lucas's character got picked up and thrown off by gargoyles, I think the same thing happened to me. And so, like, we were both now outside of the castle
Yeah.
after the rest of the party stormed into the castle.
Oh my god.
Like, fuck, now we
It
have
was
to
so
go
much fun.
back in after them.
That's hilarious.
That was a lot, and I think we wound up beating that whole castle with no one actually
Yeah,
dying.
we ended up taking over the castle because
I
remember
think
they
we lost a
that-
couple of lizard folk, but our
Yeah.
losses were significantly low. Like,
Because then we
two
ended
or
up
three
getting
people.
that magical telescope that tells you
Oh,
not
things.
the future, but like
it's like a
where someone
scrying
is.
thing where someone is
Yeah.
at. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could
so
like
it's
speak someone's name and then look into the spying glass and it would show you them.
And we ended up making that castle our home base. Like we were like, this is our place.
For
And then we
half
play
a
much
session.
after
No, that was
Never
early.
came back.
After that I think we were tracking someone that we
went
had
on the
known,
road.
and then they were in a like some weird portal like sigil thing. We went through that and we were wound up in the
Hunter's
snowland,
Lodge.
the hunter's lodge in the snow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember
we were like ambushed there too.
oh, we were ambushed. Oh, well, I think we were
Trolls.
we were trying to steal the very expensive tapestries, and we got caught with one of their own personal tapestries.
Well, now that you bring it up, since if I remember right, we never, for one reason or another, my character Erebad never wound up finding out about the tapestries specifically because I think it was the one with the green dragon you had already ripped down
Yeah.
before he walked into the room, and he, like, that dragon had a history with his people. And so it was like a big chunk of his backstory having to do with that green dragon. Because
was
he ripped
funny.
it down before he walked into the room. He never knew anything about it.
My guy had I also had a history. I think we all had a history with dragons because it was the Rise of
and
Tiamat
that was
campaign.
the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
my
dragon
my character's village was destroyed by a red dragon, and so there was all these all these tapestries showing what these different colored dragons were doing to people, and I was like, I'm taking them all just in spite of these dragon cultists, and Ryan never got to figure out.
Aw.
Just fight them, and then I ended up fucking over my teammates' backstory. But that's okay. Because we stole the tapestries.
You gotta get rich.
Yeah.
And
Earlier,
somehow, my character in that campaign was also a whore. And she was a cleric.
oh,
Damn it.
Oh my god, that scene. It wasn't at the hunting lodge. It was at a different place. But
No,
you.
it was at the other place we had to stay to work for a while, and we had
So
to steal the guy's keys.
So yeah,
Keep
it was
attending it.
like a thieves' den kind of thing. It's like they were smuggling weapons. That was before the castle.
Yeah, that was it. There was
They
that.
were smuggling weapons and slaves.
And
Yeah, because the
slaves.
lizard folk told us about that. Well, he knew of what was going on, and we followed the lizard folk through their secret castle. But we needed the key to get into the vault they were stealing from, and I was
So
sent to get the key from the guy. So I slept with him.
Hey, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
it was so
He
funny.
wasn't a bard.
I'm not like this in real
It
life.
was a skill challenge, and we're like, okay, we have to distract the guy, and then Amanda was like, oh, I will, and then it just turned like one thing into another, into another, into another. And she's like, oh, I'm high on charisma, I'm a paladin or whatever you were, and it was just like one thing turned into another. And she's like, I'm never talking about this again.
This never happened.
And now
Gosh,
you play
dang
a
it.
horny bird in a pirate.
I know. I don't know how this. Like my characters. Apparently, it's a personal problem.
One of
Hey,
my go ahead.
No, never mind.
I was gonna say, one of my earliest memories of that campaign was, I think we were in, was it Waterdeep, or it was one of the starting cities, and we were getting like not heisted, but some guy was trying to con us or something. It was like the local thieves guild, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna steal from this guy, and I took his belt with my invisible mage hand, and I took like 300 gold off of his purse after I pantsed him, and you just see a bag like disappearing into the darkness. Oh, so much fun.
Speaking of the pirate campaign, Lucas, I know you said it as a joke, but I got a new picture for Penala.
Oh, you do? Wonderful. Let me see it.
It's one of the gals I skate with. I asked if I could commission her, so.
Oh, those are my favorite. I want to get my characters all commissioned one day, but I'm too cheap right now. I want to like get like this big old portrait of all the characters I've ever played one day. I think that would be so cool. I'd have to have like a book of porn in all of their hands.
I don't think I
Not
could
a book of
afford that
porn,
either.
A book of poetry and no pictures. Wait. No. Wait.
Oh, that is so cool. Are they going to color it in too?
Super cool.
Yeah. It was her first draft, and I'm like, hey, can you put in a turtle for me? And she was watching
A
the
turtle, yes.
with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm like, of all the sessions.
Oh my goodness.
No, not those turtles. The other turtle.
It was the one with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was talking to Summer, and she recently, her DM almost stopped DMing for her campaign, but he came back, and so she's telling me like, oh, I had a wild D&D session. I'm like, ha, you got nothing on me. I fought the Teenage Mutant. We were swallowed by a whale, and that wasn't the craziest shit that happened.
That wasn't even the craziest part. That was so much more.
I told my friends about it. They're like, what the fuck?
I'm doing my job.
But,
I don't
It'll
know
be
how I'm
the
gonna
session
top.
we always talk about, just like the castles and the little lizard folk.
I don't know how I'm gonna top being inside a giant whale fighting the Ninja Turtles. I don't. I'm gonna have to figure something out.
we could actually find the real mystery gang and.
Oh, don't worry. I have something. I have something planned for that. Don't worry.
Oh my god. But I'll send you the final picture of that.
Sweet.
Really nice gal too.
Did we tell you the story about how my guy just randomly murdered 4 people in town?
No.
Well, I've got a clip on YouTube, but basically, it was in Ben's campaign, and we it was Waterdeep that we went to, right? Or was it Baldur's Gate? I can't remember.
The big city, I think it was Waterdeep.
So we went to Waterdeep, and we were trying to find the dragon cultists there. We were tracking them from the city and tracking where they were taking the loot for the revival of Tiamat. And so we were going around, and me and the ranger were scouting the city, and we're like, oh, you know what? We're kind of seedy people. Let's go to a bar. Let's see if we can get some information on this dragon cult. And we went to the wrong side of town because apparently they were pro-dragon cult there. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to buy everyone around. So I bought everyone around, and then we got to talking. They're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Let's go talk out back. This is sensitive information. I was like, all right, no problem. Well, they take us down like 15 alleys, and I was like, okay, this is getting a little sketch. And they take us down one alley. And then me and the ranger Chesko, we were just duking it out with these guys. Chesko died. I killed everyone, and we dragged them back, and everyone was asking, so like, were they cultists? And we're like, we don't know. I was like,
really important.
They were just
Might have-
regular guys who wanted
might have
money.
killed 4 random people in town. So if anybody asks you, I've been with you for 3 hours.
I mean, to be fair though, they didn't. I think you guys attacked first, so it was like.
No. They
Did
sneak
they?
attacked us. Yeah, they surrounded us in that alley and tried to kill us.
You were just some random guys
Because-
who just murdered.
Yeah.
No biggie.
And Ben was like, I think it was Ben, but someone was like, oh, so what'd you learn? And I was like, stab first. So you get the, but yeah, it was. I'll link it to you, Rachel. But it's like a 3-minute clip, and it was just the context is not really there, but it was basically me and the ranger. I think it was like an hour and a half of us doing this investigation. And so it's like an hour and a half up to that point.
Murdering people in the alleyways.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Walk away like it never happened. No biggie.
Nothing.
The hijinks in that game was so good.
I forgot about the tapestries, though. That's hilarious. Like, fuck these guys. I'm still all their pretty wall pictures. Love it. Look at you two.
So were they cultists? What?
So that one was funny. Things got really out of hand. That one was funny, and then just a little 30-second clip where, oh my god, I can't even remember his name now. But Ben's friend from work, he was Skyping in on his from the
Him.
car.
He's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh my god, Bill.
Who is he?
I don't remember his name. I'll have to try to look at the video. And and he was stepping out of the car, and he honked the horn with his elbow, and he's like, "Oh dear God!" Trying to get my Chick-fil-A out of the car right in the middle of our session. It was great.
To you.
That was so funny.
I just started playing the clip, and it begins with, so were they cultists?
Yeah, that's basically an hour and a half of everyone else except for me and Chesko, the ranger, doing this. Numa, that was his name. Numa.
Chip.
Chip.
Numa,
Yeah, Chip Numa.
Yeah, Chip
Um,
Numa, yeah. Oh.
But yeah, it was basically an hour and a half leading up to that point of real time, and it was just 2 players doing all the work. And so they're like, "Oh, so was it cultists?" We're like, "Nah, maybe."
We don't know.
Yes.
Oh my god. So whenever I need a laugh, I listen to that part, and I should have cut it into like 3 bits, because the first bit is like about, I don't know, 20 seconds. And then if you go to a minute 26, you tell how many times I watch it. Minute 26 is I explain what happened in the city. And then I think it's 2 minutes and 46 seconds. You get to the really funny part.
Oh, that's
I don't know, I'm already laughing and I'm only like 10 seconds in.
Oh my god. It was so
I
much fun.
forgot.
I was hammered that night. But Chesko got me going, and you could hear it. Like, that laugh that I had was just like every last bit of air in my lungs just going out. We need more silly campaigns. It's just too much
Have
fun to
y'all
laugh
done
at
this
this stuff.
before?
It sucks that Chesko couldn't show up anymore. He was such a blast at the table. All because of softball. Like, really? And I'm sure there was other clips that we had too that were funny. I just those two just make me laugh every time I start them up.
I'm like dying. I forgot, like,
You forgot how funny it was?
oh my god. I'm not even like halfway through it, and I'm gonna have to keep pausing it so I can listen because I
So
keep laughing.
so we learned that that the cultists didn't like us yelling about Tiamat. And Chesko's mentally ill.
Just go. Oh my gosh.
Oh, every time it's like I play that. I have to play the video at least 3 or 4 times before
But you've
it stops
narrowed
being
the
funny.
list of suspects, so it's okay.
Yeah, we,
Positive it's not those guys who might or might not have had nothing to do with it.
yeah. Oh man, D&D is so much fun.
Look at you. Straight up murdered some dudes.
Things get really out of hand.
Oh my god. I'm crying right now.
It's so funny because I can just imagine Ben's face when he's trying to keep a straight face, and then you just hear him start laughing, and then he just starts cracking up.
So did you guys learn any information? Nope, we just straight up murdered some dudes. Look at you.
So were they cultists? What?
Maybe we might have just killed 400 people in town. So if anybody asks, we've been with you for the last 3 hours.
Don't know anything.
But
What we do know is that they didn't like us yelling about Tiamat. The guards think that Chesko is mentally ill.
some dudes.
Narrow down the suspect list. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, these 4 dudes were
So,
definitely
the
not
Rogue and the
wrong.
Ranger.
We murdered them.
Did you pick up any information that might
Now
be
we
useful?
know they're definitely not going to get involved.
Nope, I don't know what they
No,
did.
no,
We just straight up murdered some dudes. And things got really out of hand.
Okay.
Was that the campaign where I was walking through and I got distracted by chickens and then some guys tried to rob me and so I used the spell that lit off a really bright light and so you guys could
Yes,
find me?
because you were a light cleric because you had been playing Mushi and I gave you a lot of hell about it. But yes, that was that one. That was the first
I
iteration
got
of Silver,
distracted
the
by
horse.
chickens.
Pretty
You won that
appropriate
horse
class
race with
choice for
Silver.
a gold dragon.
Right? No, that was a surprise.
Right? Okay. I thought it'd be fun.
That was so much fun.
That's also the campaign where Ryan had a character that died halfway into the first session, right?
Oh,
Like
that's
the
right.
very
I came in
first-
after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
He got downed
After combat.
on one of the first
The
attacks
very first
in the game.
encounter, yeah.
Oh, wizard
Like,
or
all the
just-
bad guys were down, but because I was unconscious, we were still doing the initiative
We
count.
lost all
And
of
so I
your
rolled a
saves.
1 on my save, so it was just bad news all around.
Yeah.
Oh.
He
We were
died
level
outside
one,
of
level
combat.
two.
Man, he died before he got to do anything
That's so
at
funny.
all.
What,
I
His-
didn't
what-
finish
what was
writing
he?
my backstory because it involved your character, and I was like,
I know.
"Dead. What do I do now?"
Yeah, what
Yeah,
class
damn
were
it.
you, Ryan? I don't remember.
I think Draxus was just like a fighter. My game plan
Something
for
like
him was he was going out as a mercenary throughout the world to like send funds back to his mom.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Man, she's just out there in Ben's world all alone, expecting him to come home someday.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh, that was the time that
Because
Numa, he stunned a dragon on top of a flying citadel.
Oh, yeah.
that was such a good campaign.
So many twists and turns.
Oh,
That was fun. Good
and with those dragon bones, I think Ben had a specific like specialty magic crafting system,
Or something.
and I think per his system I was allowed to do it, but he didn't want me to be overpowered because I could have made a +2 flaming oath bow. that would have made me hit on a 5 on the die every time. Like,
Both bows for rogues are just insane.
oh
on
my
their own.
god, so much damage.
Rogue and Nick's campaign has one. It's so many.
Oh my god, yeah. And I was a ranger too, so I was making 2 attacks with my oath bow plus sneak attack, and oh, don't even get me started. So bring it back to the last campaign, since we're telling funny stories. Remember when Dylan's character and I, as Rom the Druid, blew up the blacksmith because he was trying to make grenades?
No.
Definitely
That
remember
was
that
so
because I was
funny.
thinking, man, when the Rockseeker brothers get back and find that you guys fucked up their forge, they're probably gonna be okay with it if you wind up saving their lives.
Yeah, I think they all wound up dead. Yeah, he was
One
a
of them did.
fighter, and he was using, I guess, grenades as like a homebrew thing. And we were in the blacksmith, and I was a bear druid, and I was wild shaped, and I was bouncing on the bellows, and I guess I got the fire too hot, and he failed his roll and exploded the blacksmith.
This guy's idea for grenades was just stuffing gunpowder and ball bearings
And
into a
nails
glass
and
jar.
stuff. That was so funny.
Oh my god.
I'm like, okay, if they roll good enough for it, I guess that could be a thing. I think you guys got a couple of them successfully. and then
we
you
got
just
like
kept on
2 of
going.
them, and then it was like, oh, let's go for a third, and then it exploded.
Because one of those got used at the Cragmaw Castle and took out like a whole
It did, yeah.
faction of hobgoblins.
Yeah, that's where I wanted. I played as. Oh no! So we were right before we went into that castle. We faced that green dragon, and I was out that session. I was like, oh no, I want to skin those the dragon, and I was a halfling druid, and I made a lizard folk. Oh yeah, there we are. Threx.
I still have that picture.
I was a halfling druid, and I decided to make reptar pajamas out of. It was either a lizard folk or a dragon. Yeah.
It was the slain
Rugrats.
T-Rex from Thunder
Yeah,
Tree.
yeah. It was a T-Rex, and I made PJs out of it. And so we were inside this castle, and like we had just been woken up, like in our sleep, and they were trying to break into our like little hidey hole in the base. And so I splayed out on the floor like a rug, and they all avoided me because they thought I was just a dinosaur rug. It was so funny.
I'm sorry, but Reptar from Rugrats?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He was so cute. And then he went and got himself killed.
And then he murdered himself.
Aw.
You know, that bridge was in my way. It's not my fault.
Situation. He found himself overlooking a very large gap.
Okay,
Oh,
so
God.
I was wild shaped.
This party will make the same choice. Will they jump?
I
Do
was.
you have a potion of flying?
I had rage. I could have survived. So
Or do you have a healing potion that somebody's trying to just lie to you and tell you the potion of flying to get you to jump off the...
So we were in this other part of the dungeon, and Threx, my buddy, he had just left the campaign, and I was drinking heavily, and I was really distraught, and I was like, all right, I'm rash. I'm going out. I turned into a giant spider. They cut this bridge that was across the chasm, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm a giant spider. I got big legs. I'm going to jump across this chasm and stick to the other side.
I'm not gonna walk around the edge.
I could have walked around the edge in 2 rounds.
Additional feet around the edge.
No, I wanted to do something drastic. And so I jumped, nat 1, I hit the bridge, and I fell 200 feet to my death.
Oh my.
You rolled like 6 or 7 times.
gave me
because
so
I had no
much.
idea how falling even worked yet.
Yeah, we didn't know it was
All of
200
them.
feet in a
Because
round.
you got the one hole to fall in that had nothing stated about what's at the bottom of that pit inside of the book for a beginner DM. I'm like, I don't know what's there. I have no idea. I guess you keep falling until I figure it out. You kept failing. You checked
I was like, all right, so I was a spider. I was a spider, and I was like, all right, I have web. But I was like, all right, I've got to make my butt check, and I kept rolling to see if my web would recharge. My butt check failed 4 times in a row. I couldn't acrobatics my way. I tried swimming in the air because I was falling for 6 rounds. That didn't work. I failed every roll, and the only thing I forgot was rage. I probably could have survived if I raged, but it was so bad.
You also had a potion of flying.
I did have a potion of flying, but I was a spider. I couldn't have done anything with that.
We
But-
talked about this. I don't remember all the things, but there were several things you could have done.
And then
Several.
after that death, I rolled up the ever so handsome bard. That
Lucas
Oh,
learned
wait,
this
was that?
valuable lesson that drinking in D&D never mixed, and so he never did it
every
again.
time my character has
Ever,
fallen down a
ever.
chasm, I have drinking heavily leading up to that cause. So I love it.
Was the bard was after, huh?
The bard
Yep.
was the
Lothar.
session after. Yeah. Lothar
I had
Zoran.
such a deep connection with Cognar abandoning me in the woods that I just, I remember Cognar more than all the others.
Yeah, he was only my second character in D&D, so I was like, oh, I want to try these cool mechanics. Lothar anyway. And so he was, I broke him in a bad way. And so, yeah, I was like,
Got
he is
cursed
not
armor. and
cursed
he
armor. He's
became-
not effective in anything. So I was like, yeah, let's retire
We're
him
just
for a
gonna
little bit.
have him fall off the spire.
No,
Wait,
he didn't
what?
fall off the
Yeah,
spire.
no.
No, he took off his armor and threw it off the spire, but was still cursed. And he,
Oh, okay.
because I made the mistake of saying, "Hey Ryan, you can pick my curse," because I was playing a homebrew class, and he was like, "I'm gonna pick the curse that makes the bard ineffective because you have disadvantage on all your charisma checks because your guy's melting like a wax figure or
And
something."
it would have been a couple of sessions if you guys had continued the path you had originally declared you were going down. I was like, okay, so he'll have to deal with this for like 3 or 4 sessions, maybe, and then they'll have the solution for it. But instead, you guys are like, okay,
Nope.
Now that we got this guy with the curse, we're gonna take a U-turn with the campaign story and go the complete opposite direction. Like, oh, well, he's still cursed, I guess.
So bad. So
Wait,
bad.
what was the cure for his curse?
If I remember right, it was drinking from the fountain in the air temple.
Ah.
That was
Right,
a
that
healing
was a
fountain
magic
that would
fountain,
cure
yeah.
all diseases that everybody wound up drinking from later on when you eventually circled back round to the air temple.
Yeah.
I remember drinking from there. Okay.
But yeah, you guys bailed on, like, as soon as you got to the Spire Tower with the Griffin Riders, the temple for the air cultists was like right there. I'm like, okay, this is great. Everybody's here, everybody's working, and then Lothar bailed. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Well,
So you
to
guys
be
are
fair,
right here at the entrance.
I built him to be a tank, and he nearly died, and the warlock or the sorcerer was surviving more than my tanky character, and I was like, I'm not having any of this.
Wait,
She was staying back, and you were purposely trying to kite all the damage.
Well, I was not only that, but I made the mistake of choosing a bard that had nothing but touch spells. And so
Yeah.
I was running around the battlefield invisible, just trying to land and inflict wounds on somebody. And I couldn't. They would like either kill him or they would run away. Our party would run away and they'd chase after him. I'm like, I can't move that fast. And it was funny.
I have little legs.
you made a bard that was a tank?
Yeah,
You
not
tried.
advisable. I tried, it failed. Not good.
How did you try to do it? Like,
So there is a Pathfinder class called the Oracle, and there was a specific Oracle, I believe it was of time or knowledge, that
You can
allowed.
make an oracle tank. That's a thing.
I tried, right? I tried, Nick.
You
It
started
failed
off
terribly.
with him being like the metal oracle.
Metal, and I was like, yeah, that didn't fit with,
Then
and
you
so
shifted that 2 or 3 times.
just once. I switched them to it. I think it was the Time Oracle or one of the ones that allows me to add charisma to my AC. Basically, you get a trade-off. Like, you get a curse, but you get some benefits with it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll put my charisma to my AC. So I had 20 charisma plus 5 to my AC. Ryan never failed to hit me with my 21 AC or whatever it was as a bard. And he just almost died every combat. And I was like, I'm sitting here trying to protect the squishy wizard sorcerer person. And it didn't work. And I was like, he's done.
Technically, you were doing it.
I was
You were taking
eating,
those hits
but I was
rather
the
than
healer too.
sorcerer.
I was the healer. Like, it didn't work.
You were being a bullet sponge.
Yes, that is very true.
Besides, what's your AC at now?
I don't want to tell you, but it's 24. Yeah.
Just barely up there.
Yeah, I could, in theory, raise it another point, but that would require an attunement slot, and I don't feel like doing that.
But I believe I heard Nick in there.
Yeah.
So the last time we left our party off,
I'm driving
They
home,
had-
but I'm here.
okay,
I can roll for you.
We'll take it.
The party had managed to successfully ascend this black iron tower of the Iron Durgar warlord. And in doing so, they managed to successfully set off a number of traps and mechanisms triggered from the inside as they continued to traverse and ascend and climb and make their way upwards till they got up to the rooftop, where they saw these large doors barred by a metallic figure. And a sword and a crown were used to lock the handlebars of this large door in place. And upon pulling free these items, the doors pounded open as the thrumming of the tower revealed itself to be the Iron Warlord himself, continuously thrumming on these massive doors for who only knows how long he's been confined in there. And the party managed to do some fucking awesome stuff in this fight. I'm being honest here. They managed to keep him confined inside of that room where he originated from, piled up all of these, what's the best way to put it, compilative spells and
Oh,
teamwork.
It was
and then
magical.
threw a vial of the rust monster's blood into him, giving him a weak spot,
Clutch.
which I think worked out perfectly because I had
Which was
literally just like
amazing.
the same day read about a homebrew weak point rule set thing, and I was like, that sounds like a cool thing to try out, and so it worked out perfectly.
Kevin's the best.
And the party managed to survive their conflict and defeat the Iron Warlord, and then managed to pick off some of the black iron golems that continued to harry the party up on the rooftop.
You mean the 30
And
of them that
things
Rafal and I was
quieted
just protecting
down.
against?
As they were dropped by this cloud of spiritual guardians, blended up amongst you. The party was left in silence atop this black iron tower overlooking the horizon of these grasslands. And just across the way, you can make out the structure of that massive stone figure of the pharaoh, half buried amidst that red grass. That's where we find ourselves picking back up right
Ryan,
after that combat.
Did we loot the corpse?
You did not.
I would like to
We
investigate
just
the
ended
corpse.
right
Agrimar, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Sweetly. Not so hot on the
then.
investigation.
I mean, since
8.
we're all basically in the same room, can I assist him with that? Or
Or you can make
You
your
wanna-
own check if you'd like.
Can I also investigate?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, sorry. I'm not the DM. I'm going to shut up.
So I assume that Agrimar and Nari are looking over the remains of this Iron Warlord.
got it. Kevin sees all.
Go, Kevin.
And as Agrimar and Nari continue to pick across this person's form, there don't seem to be any pockets or satchels or purses or packs anywhere on his form. Just this solid plate armor that conceals his, what would have been his Duragar body inside, but completely composed of this solid black iron. You might be able to harvest some pieces of the black iron itself and attempt to repurpose some of the metal.
Ooh,
But as far as
Agrimar.
items go, he had that
Ooh.
massive 20-foot long sword that he wielded. But that was it as far as his items.
Is there anything special about that 20-foot sword?
It seems to be a wickedly heavy and
Very
unstructurally
large.
sound long
How
blade.
heavy is it, Ryan?
Well, let's find out.
Unlike Cognar, Agrimar here can pick up extremely heavy objects. Last time I tried to pick up a greatsword. Also, is there anything special about the metal that he is constructed of, or is it just dark iron?
Roll me
Is
an
it like
intelligence check.
being because I thought we came across something that said that he was made of metal that was like completely indestructible. Like he was not.
He
One of those letters. I
himself,
swear.
if completed, would become indestructible.
Oh. Okay,
Can I
that one.
apply my smith's knowledge to this?
Like your proficiency?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, cool. Ooh. Plus proficiency, which is 4, 6. That is a 23 intelligence.
Agrimar, you would know that such black iron could be repurposed.
Ooh.
Are we going to stuff that into the portable hole?
You bet your butt we are.
Well, let's
yeah.
get rid of some dead weight in the portable hole and let's just burn Preston right here.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That
I
was part of the
forgot we
plan.
still have
Yes,
him.
yes. He is under gentle repose, so he's not gooey. So we can pull him out and burn him, and then fill up the portable hole with some of this black iron.
I out, we were like, yeah, no, this is like the best place to burn his body.
Now, Ryan,
Yeah,
No,
currently Rafal, who is in possession of said hole, is he has put on this crown and he is holding this sword and he is looking off the tower towards MistHaven.
All right.
Cape billowing.
God damn right. I actually think I'm gonna have to unattune my billowing cape, which makes me sad.
did that
Oh,
require
no.
attunement? Really?
Yeah, it requires attunement.
Wait. You had the opportunity for a lot of other cool magic items, and you kept the
You
billowing
kept your
cape as an attunement?
Wait, are you implying that the billowing magic cape is
No.
not a cool magical
No,
item?
what I mean...
The answer is, you goddamn right.
So wait.
I was just going to say I love it.
All that cape was useful for was billowing. That's it.
As a bonus
As
action.
a bonus action.
It is literally all you can do with it is use a bonus action to make your cape billow.
I love it. I honestly do. I think it's so great.
I love those common items that they released in Xanathars.
Maybe
It's so
at
good.
this point, like, we could say that Rafal has had it so long and he's so familiar with it that it doesn't require attunement anymore. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm cool with that, if you guys are.
It's okay.
Because
First of all,
Hundred
it's
and
just
50%,
billowing.
yes.
It's just a billowing cape, so I don't think he requires attunement for a
Like,
billowing cape.
the cape has chosen to become one with Rafal.
I like to think that a single strand of Rafal's golden locks has embedded itself, and he can manipulate it with his mind.
The cape has fused into his spine.
Oh my
You
God.
know.
He goes to
It
take
is
a
now
bath, and he's got this
natural
giant
ability
cloak
to
on.
make it billow.
It's another appendage of Rafal's.
Cool.
So yeah, I want to harvest some of this black iron. I want to keep a small, like 1 inch by 1 inch sliver of it on my person, and then I want to put a couple of good sized chunks into the bag of holding. Or
As far
the hole.
as harvestable material goes, with the roll that you made in regards to the black metal, you would be able to successfully retrieve enough of the black metal to create 1 metal armor set or up to 2 weapons. You can attempt to pull more out, but the more metal that you retrieve, the greater the amount of rust corroding that black iron will be.
Gotcha.
Whoops.
So the greater the detriment of that quality. Whereas like the first amount harvested, it would all be the top peak
Right.
structure.
So like I'm pulling from the parts that are furthest from that rust spot,
Yes.
and then if I have to get anything else, I'm getting closer to the rust spot.
Yes.
No, I'm just gonna pull what I can for that 1 metal armor set, and then like I
Alright.
said, maybe like off the foot or something, just pulling off the toe cap.
Enough
that
for a
can-
sliver for your
yeah.
spell material.
Yeah, for my spell materials. Yeah.
What are you using to harvest this
That is
rumored
a good question.
indestructible black iron metal?
I think that it's going to require a mighty weapon of some renown, and so I'm going to pull out my war pick as a focusing point and slamming the Pharaoh's Innocence, this heavy divine maul, into it, trying to at least shatter or pry pieces off of it.
And that does additional radiant damage?
Pharaoh's Innocence? Against
Pharaoh's
undead, it does, yes.
Okay. All right, so you're able to start harvesting, and it is very audible up here as that thrumming thud is replaced by this high-pitched ping, pink, as Agramar begins to collect the resources off of this iron.
And if it
bullet.
helps, I can use my divinely enhanced arms to rip it off too.
Well, that's up to you.
I think it's a combination of both. I think I'm using the war pick plus the mace to gain like a finger hold, and then I'm prying it off using, my full body to try to pry off as big a pieces as I can. Using the war pick to like fracture it, creating a fracture line away from that rust and then pulling it back with my body. And I look to Kevin. Kevin, how do you want to immolate this body as I'm exerting myself pulling this armor apart?
To Preston's body, or?
I mean, we don't need to kill something that's already dead. I mean, but yes, Preston's body.
I was just thinking of burning it, to be honest. I told him I'd see him burn.
I do have a question. I'm all 110% for burning his lovely dead corpse. But, Agramar, was it you who mentioned that you might be able to commune with the dead?
I don't think we should do that. I think he's tried to tear apart this team. He just lie. I think we should just burn him right now.
Yes, I can speak with the dead.
Pretty interesting
I don't think
information.
I believe that we talked about this after we first killed him. Even if I can speak with him, he is not obligated to give us any information. So it'd be quite difficult to get information from him.
Now that he is dead and sees what waits for him there, he might be more inclined to answer questions.
Look, I've known people who are like him, and I think he would lie to us. Like, the dead don't have to tell the truth, right, Agramar?
Not necessarily. I have, in the past, been able to cast a zone of truth while maintaining speak with the dead. So if the dead body does not resist my divine ways, then they are obligated to tell the truth. I can circumvent that, but at the same point, they don't have to say anything, and we only get 5 questions.
That is true. So,
and then you could see his face, knowing that you were the one who killed him.
How about this,
for you.
Kevin? If you keep the skull, we can talk to him later, and you can burn the rest of his body.
I just say that we burn the entire body.
I'm fine with that too. I mean, I don't like these Golden Lotus people either. Just
no.
Throwing it out there.
I just feel like maybe there might be information, even if he lies. I mean, like, who are they? What is their main goal? Who can come through the teleportation circle? Are they going to try and will they murder everyone at the Sunken Queen?
Well, yeah.
I think we have enough information. We should go back to MistHaven and not speak to Preston.
I do have one really other question, though. I just am super curious as to why he would have this amulet that I have come across that has been super helpful with this vampirism curse. Like, why would he be holding on to such a thing? I mean, unless he already knew it was there, and maybe he was perhaps planning on using it on himself, and if that's the case, or was he planning on giving it to Zomeria? I just have questions. I have so many questions. It's just hard to be like, okay, bye, you're dead now.
What does Cronus say to you?
She's just going to look at that group.
Yeah, how's your sugar daddy doing?
No, I'm serious. I mean, you get a lot of bountiful information. We learned a lot about where we're at currently because of him. If he is to give you that kind of information, I think you are smart enough to deduce what he is actually was trying to accomplish here, which was using the amulet to allow the queen to leave her current confines because she's stuck in the middle of the desert.
But he could have given her like a wagon.
I don't think a wagon would suffice for a queen.
Or since his wagon had the teleportation circle, all she had to do was wait till nighttime.
She just had to make it outside.
Leave that area.
Yes. Or it could have been that he was trying to do what you did.
broke off on me.
I,
Do what?
I think he might have been trying to accomplish what you accomplished inside that statue.
What is it that I accomplished? Because I feel like I didn't accomplish much.
Gaining eternal
Killing
undeath?
her? I wouldn't exactly consider that an accomplishment in my book. It is very interesting, but not so much an accomplishment.
I mean, think about it this way. If you're a raving cultist thinking about, I don't know, world domination, wouldn't vampirism be a good way of going about that, as you can't die?
Only if you plan on doing it at nighttime.
These
And
are
if your
shady
enemies
people.
don't have wooden sticks.
I mean, he had someone to protect him, so if they came after him with a wooden stick, he would have just used his automaton.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, we
So
tried
yes,
shooting
like I said,
him.
I'm curious if he was trying to release Lady Zulmeria, or if he was trying to get it for himself. And then what were they planning on doing with the throne in there? You know, like were they wanting to try to move it, or is it just going to stay in the middle of the desert where who knows what will happen to it? It's such a powerful, powerful thing sitting in the middle of the desert.
Nari, I think you and I are going to have to spend an afternoon, or a couple, at the library to figure out what we can do with this evil throne. Because it should not be left out for other people to be tempted or controlled by some ancient vampire.
Yes, I definitely almost wish that we didn't open the doorway in her mouth, because now I don't know how to close it to keep it protected from the outside world. There was no instructions on how to open it or close it. So maybe we can close it with the light, or maybe if we just show darkness on it, it'll close. I don't know. Maybe we could just like pull it closed and then it won't open again. But yeah, no, definitely library books are super helpful. But like, remember last time we were in the library, they didn't really elaborate too much on the pieces of ectasis because they're supposed to be lost artifacts to the world. So I don't think they would be like, hey, this is how you store away a lost artifact if you come across one.
Well, maybe we weren't looking for the right thing. That's something that would have been stricken from the records. A demon's, throne might be something different.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
And also, I can look for a cure to vampirism.
That is what I'm also hoping to find. I'm curious to see what other people have found out about vampirism. Because, Professor Barnaby said that there was something you wanted when you got it, and it's definitely not what I signed up for. So, we'll see.
So, we burn the body.
I guess we can burn the body.
I guess the next question,
anyways.
do we rest? I think we should rest either way, but I think we should either rest and fight our way down through, or we just climb down the side of the mountain, side of this tower.
Okay. One, if we rest, can we be sure that we can actually rest here? And two, if we decide to fight our way down, I know that we had the magical ladders to bring us up, but I didn't see a pathway down. So
I don't understand this mechanism at all.
At least we're on the same page there. What were you going to say, Kevin?
Nothing. We haven't really explored the top level of this area, have we?
No, not really. We just kind of came and fought the
You guys
guy.
have kind of run across the entirety of this roof space.
So there wasn't much else up there besides this main chamber and the
It's
stairway up.
massive destroyed gear wheels that look to have activated these massive doors at some point, but those look to have been destroyed a long, long time ago. There's a couple of more crates and loose surplus supplies, a couple of more pillars that lead up to the ceiling, which is this peaked roof. But otherwise, there's a couple of those chimney-like holes that some of these black iron golems were climbing out of. But the elevator, like trapdoor, closed upon raising you guys up here. There's that patio nearby where you guys were lifted up that kind of overlooks the valley below.
Are they still climbing? I mean, I guess we're talking, so they're not still climbing through, but like, did they close or are they just still empty holes there?
You want to go and check them out?
I would like to gaze
In
down
the midday sun?
As
They're
Nari
not in the sun.
starts climbing up one of those short overlooking towers that kind of surveyed the entirety of this chamber, making her way over beside the ledge of one of these deep holes. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
At 12.
In the far distance, you can hear this faint echo kind of wailing upwards from inside of this pit. Sounds kind of like a gear wheel rotating.
That's like the same sound we've kind of been hearing throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do I hear? Because I know like sound effects are great, but when you would when they would release into the room, there was like a thump thump. Am I hearing that sound still or no?
You are not currently hearing that, no.
And is this tunnel like super like straight down, or does it have a slight curve to it?
Looking down, it continues downward the 120 feet of your dark vision and keeps going. And it's roughly a straight shot all the way down. But you have no idea to what.
And third question, did I get my rope of climbing back? I remember that I made a note of it.
No,
made a
you made
note
a
in
note to go
Discord.
back and
Thought
get
you
it.
left it on the
I think
second
I may have
floor.
forgot it.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Not my rope.
Well, I mean,
Huh.
we can always
I remember I made
go
a
back
note
to
of
the
it, but
bottom
I'm
and
pretty
get
sure
it.
I forgot in all the chaos of it all. So that's cool. It was just, you know, a rope of climbing. You come across those every day.
So I've got some additional raw coal to help build a little fire to put Preston's body on. Or not Preston, yeah, Preston.
Yeah, Preston.
Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
I have like one more. I only have one
Rafal
firebomb.
starts taking out all of the crates and other things like that that have been holding our supplies for the trip out of the portable hole. And he says, dump this out and use this. We're not going to need it where we're going.
Back to the future. So I think we make a bonfire in maybe the corner of this room with this nasty old metal dude and get it all set up.
All right.
Yes. Yes.
Zagmar starts cooking up a fire for Preston's remains.
No. Kevin, I think you have another arrow that you can start this festivities with.
Oh yes, I do. I'd like to say a few words. Oh, do I say? Okay, yeah.
I
never
mean,
mind.
this is
Okay.
all on you, Kevin.
I know. Preston, you are an asshole. I hope you're burning whatever afterlife you are. Fuck you. Fuck everything you stand for, and may you burn. And a
Amen.
fire and oil.
Agrimar does the symbol of the Triforce, much like the Catholic symbol, but he goes from forehead to right shoulder to left shoulder and back to forehead. And he ordains this destruction of this evil person.
Okay, I was about to say, don't bless him.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want him to come back from the dead.
Oh no, he's just going to say something very sarcastic. Fuck him.
He should have went to E7.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Throwing
fired.
it out there, Agrimar, but it's not too late to cast Revivify.
No, I
That
I
would be
don't
interesting.
have.
All
Maybe I
right.
can
I don't-
live just
I-
long enough
okay.
to watch him burn.
So mechanically, I do not have a gem worth enough to cast Revivify on him. So
Good thing you guys are heading back to town.
speaking of that, Rafal, can I borrow like 500 gold worth of those rubies that you have?
No.
I need to make a big ruby. I'm not going to use them. I need to make a big ruby out of them.
No.
Isn't a king supposed to be selfless and help
So
his subjects
mean.
or whatever?
These rubies are dangerous. You're not going to use them for that.
Oh, you're talking about the rubies that
But-
control people.
Right.
That's exactly the rubies he's talking about.
Oh,
And
Yes.
I'm going to
yeah,
hold on to
no,
them.
I understand.
thought
Okay, I
Rafal was
thought
just
like
being a
they're
dick.
just rubies. Just let them all know.
Ryan, can I do an Arcana check to see if transforming these rubies into something else would continue their enchantment?
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check at disadvantage.
Do
That's
all
fine.
the Arcana checks you want. Rafal's still not going to give them
Because-
to you.
You weren't too familiar
yeah,
the
no.
first time you rolled about
No.
a Philosopher's Stone.
All right,
I mean,
fine.
it
I was
could
just
be
gonna
if you could
save
combine them
Nari
all
with
into
it. So
one.
that's fine.
Then it would be a little easier to keep track of them all. There'd only be one to lose instead of like 10. I could see that being useful, but yeah, no.
No,
They're still very
that's a 7. I don't know.
No idea.
All right, well, we'll have to make sure that I get enough gems to save
Kevin's
Nari
fine.
somewhere else. Then okay.
It's okay. We plan on doing lots of reading at the library. We will figure it out together.
As long as we have the money for it, I don't know.
We will have money. Professor Barnaby owes us lots of money.
Damn right he owes us a ton of fucking money. I swear to God, if he's just like, I can tell you something about the curse of Nari, I'm gonna lose it, y'all. Not gonna
No,
lie. I'm
don't
gonna
worry.
fucking
He already said he'd give us money. Remember?
I
Because
know.
you're like friendship. He's like, no, not friendship. And you're like, good. So
Okay.
there should be gold and silver and maybe some copper. Who knows? But there will be actual money and friendship. So it's like a win-win. We talk about as we watch Preston's body burn.
Yeah, let's talk about friendship. Say, Nari, quick question. How strong is the Thieves Guild in MistHaven?
Do I know anything about the Thieves Guild in MistHaven?
Yes. Are they particularly strong?
Rafal knows a lot about the Thieves
I-
Guild in
You guys
MistHaven.
have interacted with them.
I mean, I remember that we messed with Boyle and like we
Yeah,
saved his
So,
son.
really, Kevin, it really comes down to, do you want to deal with the actual Thieves Guild or do you want to deal with the pirates? Because you have two real criminal factions. You have Boyle and the Thieves Guild, and you have Brodrin DeVargo and his crew.
I'm just wondering if they're strong, enough to.
Like you want to take them down?
Let's just say a competing Thieves Guild faction comes in. Would they be able to defend themselves? Are they entrenched into it? Have they paid the right people off?
Boyle has a lot of money,
Oh,
and part of the problem with MistHaven is that you have 3 different systems of justice going on. So the Thieves Guild's able to operate with quite a bit of impunity.
All right. Cool.
And what do you hope to do to change that, King Rafal?
What are your political stances?
Should we
Why
vote
should
for
I
you?
vote for you for king?
Are we talking about universal health care?
Are we talking about what I'm going to tell everyone or what I actually believe?
What are
I
you
want to
gonna tell
hear
us?
all of it.
Well, I actually believe that you need some kind of a criminal organization to keep the nobles in check. Because without that, you're going to have some problems with the moneyed interests in the city. But
Because the nobles. shit on the stupid fucking map.
Part of the problem is the Requisitor, so that's what has to be dealt with first, and then we can deal with Boyle.
Oh, that is going to be a really fun problem to take care of.
So, as far as
Paul, you hear this voice in the back of your head. These Requisitors sound like quite the extremists, my liege, but I presume that you know your forward plan of attack.
I have an idea.
Did you say that out loud?
Yes, he did.
Okay, Rafal.
I like his
Go on.
ideas. They always work out. But as
Yes,
far
Okay.
Kevin, what were you saying? Did you have something to say, Kevin?
No, you just said that you had an idea, and you didn't elaborate.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
you didn't all hear that?
No.
Hold on. Let me take care of the barking dog.
There is no dart.
He's
mark
hearing
on
things
it.
He's
again.
hearing things. Oh, jeez.
can I roll an Arcana check to see what I know about, magical voices?
Roll me an intelligence check, Agri.
All right.
Maybe Queen Zamiria did really scramble his brain.
19 on the die, 21.
You guys have encountered numerous items at this point that have some degree of telecommunications available to them.
Like, the stone
You
that
would
I talked
most
to.
certainly believe he could have heard something if he looks confused that you guys didn't hear something.
Oh, yes, don't worry. He's not losing his mind. He's just hearing things.
So he
I
did
mean-
take a couple of heavy hits from that sword.
Also,
I mean, hearing things, though, you guys got mad at me for hearing things out of a stone, so should we be concerned?
his
well,
hasn't told him
be
to drink
fair.
blood yet.
Yeah, you weren't turned into a fucking vampire. Also, he sat in the chair of his own volition, so you know.
Okay, so basically, I think what's going on is when I grabbed this, and he's gonna unsheath and show them all the sword.
The clouds seem to part just the slightest amount as the sun glimmers off of this blade.
And his cape billows. And, well, I think that this blade has a kind of sentience about it. Any questions?
Has it told you to do anything?
Nope. It's just been very supportive of my goals. This is the blade of a former king of MistHaven, and I mean to restore its glory.
What's its
And
name?
the sword seems to be on board with that goal.
What
Well, which
ho, my
sword?
liege.
What sword? What in one wouldn't
Yes.
want to lead?
I agree with Kevin. What's his name?
Crownfall.
I'm sure the king's name wasn't Crownfall, right?
Oh, the king's name? Insert
Wait.
king's name here. Nick doesn't have his computer open.
That was King Janus. What was it? Janus Stoutheart. Stoutheart. Janus Stoutheart.
King Janus Stoutheart.
When
One of
he
the-
mentions the name Crownfall, can I do a check to see if that name rings a bell to me?
Alright, you can make a history check on that one.
14. Not so great.
You might have heard this name before in your various studies at the Library of MistHaven. You probably came across this, but then just immediately discarded it because it wasn't having to do with the weapons you were
Artifact,
specifically
artifact.
looking for.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I've definitely
But
heard,
you've heard
that
the name.
Super cool name. Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
I'm sure he was a kind and just king if he was fighting dwarves.
Yes, he was just. It was his offspring that had issues and would fight each other, and thus leading to the fall of his reign, which, surprise, surprise, kind of a theme in MistHaven. But I am able to sit on the throne, it'll be the end of that cycle.
So rest in peace, everyone, but Rafal's different, essentially.
Say it again?
Not.
She said rest in peace to everyone except for Rafal, who's different.
I mean, so far I'm the only living heir to the throne of MistHaven. If I can sit on the throne, it'll break the generations-long curse.
How do you feel like the current queen is going to take that information
Well,
and not remember her name for the life of me right now?
I don't much trust the queen, seeing as she's from Averstan and that's who wants to take over the city. So we'll have to see.
Are you going to marry her?
Ooh.
I will do what must be done.
Ooh.
Don't you go out. No. I'm sorry, that was inappropriate.
No, I think that was entirely appropriate.
Fallen
Anyways.
queen sitting in the tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G.
First comes
Well,
love.
she is a very attractive woman, so at least there's that.
And we all know you're attractive, Thor. I mean, Rafal.
As the faint smell of barbecued flesh begins to fill the room.
Here we are having this lighthearted conversation.
Over a burning body.
Just another day in the desert. In a tower of doom that we have yet to figure out how we're gonna climb down. I feel like we're having conversations to avoid that topic.
So, how do we get down?
I mean, if you wanted, I could try and climb down those creepy tunnels that the golems were climbing up and see where they lead. I mean, they had to have come from somewhere, so it might be some sort of factory type thing that we could crawl back into.
I could hand you one of my arrows, light it, and you could drop it down to see how far it goes down.
Now there's an idea.
I like that idea.
Cool. I only have 7 left. Yeah. We
Or
could
we could
totally
just
do that.
cast it on the copper coin, cast light on the copper coin, and drop it down. So you don't waste an arrow. If you only have 7 left, I mean, you know, who knows how many we might need.
I mean, we're going back to MistHaven, right?
Well, yeah, but we still have to get off the tower, back to camp, and then we have to explore the tomb, the statue, because we told Professor Barnaby we would clear it out of danger for him, and then we will go to MistHaven.
Hooray!
But there might be more arrows in camp for you. I'm sure we could get them. But we have to get off of the tower.
Works for me. Let's check out this strange hole.
I will pull out the copper coin.
You successfully pull out your copper coin.
I was to say, who knows light?
I don't know light, so I'm just like, here's the copper coin. So I thought I saw someone do it before. Maybe not.
Does Algramar know light? No, he.
Does no one know light?
He does know light.
Oh, okay, cool. Agramar.
Agramar is going to cast light on your copper coin.
I drop it down the hole and I watch intensely and listen very, very.
Nari, go ahead and roll me a perception check. As you watch this coin as it tosses end over end. As the one side with the light cast upon it reflects half of this chimney in light, as the other half in darkness, as it's continuously spinning and tumbling as it falls and it falls and it falls. 30, 90, 100 feet down, and it's still continuing to drop. 200, 250, 300, and it looks to still be falling, as that pinpoint of light that you can see tumbling farther and farther blinks out.
It's a death pit, from what I can tell. I mean, our chances of climbing on the outside are probably just as good as climbing on the inside. So, it should be exciting. Yeah, definitely. I wish you all the best. No. I really wish I had that little rope of climbing. Maybe we could just hold on to it. It would slowly inch its way down, or we could do something cool. But it's gone forever now.
Can
I
we
think
go?
Agamar said he had a plan.
Can we go inspect the area, see if the ladders are back?
Like the ladders you used to get up here,
Yeah,
or the ladders kind of scattered around the rooftop.
the ladders we used to get up here.
Going over, you find yourself making your way towards that open patio and staring at the surface of that trap door that opened up to lead each of you to this rooftop, one after the other. But it looks to be just a solid metal platform with the seam between the door barely even visible. If you didn't know it was there, you would probably miss it.
Are there any other levers or anything else like that up here on the roof?
Not that
Like
you
in
can
that other
find.
like control room that Rafal was in, or anything like that?
There don't look to be any remaining control systems in that control room that look to be activated. It looks as though anything that was up here was destroyed at some point or another. All the mechanisms and gear wheels you can find are smashed, cracked open, and just pulverized, as if a significant amount of damage had been done to this platform a long time ago.
Does your sword have any ideas?
I know Lucas said he had an idea. He's BRBing right now.
What about my sword? Does it have an idea?
What would you like to ask him?
Crowdfall, do you have any idea how to get off this tower?
Well, I suppose you could have one of your minstrels cast fly upon you.
Won't believe any of them know that spell, unfortunately.
Do you happen to carry a significant quantity of rope with you?
About 200 feet, I think, between the four of us.
That would get you much closer. Safer fall at the very least.
Agamar, do you have an idea how to get down?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yes, of course. If we rest, then I can just create, using my divine powers, a rope long enough to go down the tower and back up, and I can just lower you down and easy cheesy. But that requires rest and meditation.
Well, I guess we're resting on the rooftop then.
Cool.
I thought we already started our rest when we started to burn.
We've had a long conversation. I'm sure we've been resting a little bit.
Started a short rest for sure. I assume like a short rest is effectively happening.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you guys are actively going to take a long rest here, do you guys want to set up watches?
Yeah, I'll do a watch.
I'll take the first watch.
I'll take the second watch.
I will take the third watch.
And Rafal will take the last watch.
All right. As you guys are posting up as the embers are continuing to burn away, and this foul stench is just drifting across the tower, this burning corpse up on the rooftop. You guys do your best to kind of make your way to the opposite end of the tower, setting up to get away from as much of that smell as you can, to get a bit of a more comfortable lay of the situation. And one by one, you start kind of setting yourselves up and finding yourselves drifting off into a comfortable, warm sleep. Just like that. And
The bar.
starting off, Kevin, with your first couple of hours on watch, is there anything you would like to do during this time?
Has the fire gone down, or there just ashes left?
It's continuing to burn if you're continuing to heat it and provide it fuel. Otherwise, the fire would slowly kind of simmer down. But it is a very large chunk of burnt meat from the looks of it.
I figured the coal that I provided for the ritual would be similar to a forge's coal, which burns very hot.
I mean, if you guys are trying to cremate the body, that could certainly get the job done during the process of
I don't
this
think we
long
want to
rest.
leave any remains, right, Kevin?
Yeah, no remains. No witness.
So cremation.
So continuing to provide some fuel to the fire throughout the night.
Yeah, I've
It'll
got
be a
50 pounds of
slower,
coal I can
longer
put towards
burn.
this.
Well, yeah, and then we have all the crates and other things like that.
Yeah, we got
brought all
plenty
our
of
supplies.
fire.
Plenty of fuel
materials,
sources
yeah.
available.
We just set it like not next to the body, but whenever someone gets on watch, they throw more material on just to keep it burning.
Right.
I mean, it gets pretty cold in the desert at night too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't live in a
Yeah,
desert,
for
so
sure. Depending on the time of year.
It gets very cold in the desert.
I mean, it was like 18 degrees here, so I mean, I know what cold is, but not desert cold.
That's
And it is nearing the winter season. As you
Brr.
guys have been out long enough.
yeah. So I'll add. Kevin will add fuel to the fire. Make sure that it's up. Keep watch.
All right, Kevin, as you're keeping watch, go ahead and roll me a perception check. In the
25.
far distance, you can see some faintly flashing lights, kind of varying colors and degrees of brightness, kind of reflecting off of the face of the large statue of Zomeria, kind of about nearby where you know the caravan to be set up. As you can see, some of them like just kind of going about their own day-to-day processes, making use of magical spells to do so. Conjuring
Okay.
forth what look to be floating platforms here and there, carrying massive amounts of some sorts of quantities of supplies, looks to be continuously flowing from Preston's wagon. It's very strange watching large quantities continuously being offloaded from a single source. But it seems they're getting use of that portal inside of there.
Okay, that's good. Cool. Nice.
They're using his wagon as we burn his body.
That's nice.
But otherwise, your watch goes relatively uneventfully.
Okay, well, I'll wake up Agrimar.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. Anything special go on?
No, the caravan's using the teleportation circle over there. Preston is nice and toasty. Besides that, nothing. Nothing.
All right. Well, you get your sleep. I'll make sure we're all safe.
Cool.
Agrimar is going to sit. Are we staying in the room of the destroyed dwarf guy?
Where did you guys set up camp?
Sure.
Where did Agrimar set up his camp?
I probably would have been outside the door amongst the bodies of the destroyed constructs. That's kind of where I think Agmar would be. He's at home amongst the metal.
Amongst the rubble of the metal.
Yeah. I just want to make sure not everyone's dying of carbon monoxide poisoning.
The place is ventilated well enough thanks to the large doors made
All right,
specifically
wonderful.
for the size of the iron board.
All right. Agrimar wakes up, stretches, and he uses parts of the metal constructs that he destroyed, that his spirits destroyed, and he sets out in front of him a sigil on the floor, and it forms similarly to a circle with a casting bowl in the center, similar to what he's used before for his other incantations. But he is going to, at the first minute of his watch, cast Commune ritually and ask 3 questions to the gods. The first question, he's going to lift up to the gods. Can I cure Nari of her vampirism using the ritual that I have devised?
Damn it, I was muted.
No.
Agrimar, as you were casting this spell, you kind of reach out in this prayer. And as your voice echoes a little bit throughout the expanse of this room, you hear this faint kind of whisper amidst one of the echoes. Possible.
Agrimar furrows his brow. Is the caravan in danger from intruders through the teleportation circle above Preston's tower?
No more.
I didn't catch that. What was that, Ryan?
No more. You hear kind of echoing. in
Okay,
the
so
return of your
I
own
take that
voice.
as a good thing then.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. My last
Just
question.
to double check, that spell gives you yes or no answers, right? It's not something more clear.
Correct. Yeah. Yes or no answers.
Okay. Okay. I'm not trying to cheat you out of a spell.
No, the augury is the Wheeler Woe one. This is the 5th level
Gotcha.
version.
Thank you.
On my last question, I'm losing it in my notes, but I'll ask: is Trinia being a light amongst the world in the Three's Eyes?
This time you hear no echo, but the flames in front of you burn brighter as they just glow, and the flames noticeably increase inside.
Agrimar, with a big smile on his face after his questions have been answered, the spell fades, and what pool of molten metal was formed in front of him kind of solidifies on the floor, leaving a sigil on the floor. He smiles, looking out over the night sky, and maintains his watch, just thinking about the good that he's done so far. And I will
Otherwise,
watch on my watch.
Otherwise, Agramar's watch goes by relatively quietly. The faint kind of echoing of the of clockwork all throughout the tower can faintly be heard echoing all throughout. But otherwise, you guys
Wonderful.
remain undisturbed.
All right, I go to Nari, and I gently wake her up. Nari, it's your watch.
No, 5 more minutes.
Okay, I'll give you 5 more minutes. I give her 5 more minutes. Let her rest. And then I'll wake her up again. All right. Daddy says it's time to get up.
No.
You're late for school, Nari. Get up.
I don't want to go to school today.
All right,
Agramar,
no play.
Stop it, okay? I was in a dream. You can't just mess with me like that. These things. Oh,
You said you were taking this watch. Get up.
there was a lot that happened. I almost died like 10 times, okay, in the last, what? As Kevin keeps telling me, 12 hours. It's been a lot, okay? Okay, I'm awake. Don't worry, go to sleep. I got it.
I sit with Nari for just a couple of minutes. I'll go to
You
sleep
don't
soon
think I
enough,
can
Nari.
watch?
No. You're more than capable. I just want to talk. How are you doing?
I'm alive, even though I'm dead, so I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
What? I mean, how do you feel about, what you've become? Like you said, there was a couple of moments in this tower that you were very close to a point of no return where I couldn't heal you. I couldn't save you from the grasps of death.
But there were also a couple of moments where, had this not happened to me, I couldn't have been there to save you from the moments of death.
That is very true, Nari. It is. I want to make sure that
So it is
you're
fair
okay.
to say I'm conflicted.
I understand. In your heart of hearts, I want to make sure that you're all right. It's like you said, it's only been 12 hours, and a lot has happened. A lot of beneficial things have happened to you, but at the same point, it feels like you're vulnerable, at least to me, in a way that I can't help, and that saddens my heart.
But I feel like I've been more helpful to you in these past 12 hours than in the last months that I've known you guys. But I don't know. It is very conflicting feelings because I feel though this thing happened to me, the way everyone looks at me now, they see a different person. But I don't feel as though I'm a different person, even though these things have changed me in different ways. Does that make any sense? Maybe not. Maybe I'm too tired still.
No, it makes all the sense. Your heart is in the right place, and Agramar puts his hand near her neck, not in a threatening way, but just at the top of her chest. And can I feel if she's cold or if there's a heartbeat?
You feel very much fur. No.
I know you got fur.
What's your passive medicine score?
Passive medicine 14.
You kind of hover your hand over one of the main veins in her neck, and there's no pulse. And if it weren't for the fur, she might be a little bit cooler to the touch.
And Agramar is used to forging things, so he's acute to temperature differences. And he feels, and he says, I understand what you're saying, Nari, and he pulls his hand away. Your heart is in the right place, but the warmth that you used to provide is not the same, and I think everyone is feeling it. And I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I'm far from that. But there is a noticeable difference in the way that you have been acting towards the rest of the group. You've been reckless and foolhardy, brave nonetheless, but you're not the Nari that we have come to love and know. Something has changed, something dark has taken the warmth from your presence away from us, and we're all concerned.
Nara's just gonna take a minute to just look you in the eyes.
You see kind of almost sad puppy dog eyes getting back to you. He's deeply concerned about your well-being.
You know, I have been concerned about this thing that has happened to me, mostly because of your guys' concern. But if today has shown me anything, I may have been more reckless and brave, but if I didn't have this thing happen to me, I wouldn't have you here next to me right now, Agramar. You would have been still stuck on the bottom floor, dead. And even the second floor, possibly. I would have
If I
been
recall
dangerous.
correctly,
I don't know.
I had to save you from the second floor. I understand, Ari. Yes, the thrill and the power that comes with regeneration is exhilarating. But at the same point, what happens when you're no longer able to keep that regeneration going? I can't help you. Rafal can't help you. Kevin can't help you with her ways. You are gone forever, turning into something even less than what you are. I have asked the gods, and I know that you're questionable on them, but I believe in them. And they've told me that I can help you. And I'm trying. I don't want to see your current existence ended because of this rush of power.
You know, the last time you helped me, which I appreciated, and it was very strange, you forced me to drink from your arm. And in that moment, I saw life drained from your body. And if you helping me takes away from who you are, I cannot allow myself to be helped. I understand what I have gotten into with this, and it is not something I have chosen to do lightly. But if you helping me takes away part of who you are, then it will leave us in the same boat that we are now. That one of us is left unwhole. And I would like the time, although I know you've given it a very strict limit on what you are able to do, but I would like the time to see if there's another option that would not take away from you or me, so that in the end, you, the Agramar I know, is still whole, and me, the Nari that you know, could be whole once again. But if me becoming whole means that you become less whole than who you are, I do not want your help.
I understand. I do. I want to work with you to solve this problem. And know that I have been around, as you know, you've sucked me into that infernal iron flask of yours, that I am not normal. And I think between the two of us, we can find a solution to your problems And I don't want to sacrifice myself to make sure that you're not lost. Not in the sense that I lose everything for you, because I want to be here to see you grow and learn, because Rafal is going to need wise counsel. I can only provide so much, and you provide so much more than I can. And I need your help to make sure that MistHaven is the best kingdom that it can be. So, if I can assist you in becoming whole by still living, even if it is a part of me, part of my spirit within you, I would gladly sacrifice that to make sure that this world becomes a better place for you and Rafal and even Kevin and the rest of MistHaven. That is a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of things.
I understand what you are saying. I do. I feel as though if you were to sacrifice part of who you are in spirit to fix a problem I willingly walked into, I mean, as Kevin, obviously, it was not my best judgment at the time. But if I were to allow you to sacrifice part of your soul, who you are, no matter how strong and brave you are on a daily basis, I could never become the whole Nari that you knew me as once. So instead, allow me time to look into what has happened to me and try and find an alternative way that would leave you whole. At least allow me time for now. Don't I cannot make that decision yet based on the 12 hours we've had.
Yes, we still have 9 days and 12 hours before this becomes permanent. But yes, I would like to work with you in order to solve this problem, because I don't think that you want this either, really. An eternity
I will
of not having this.
gladly take your help to try and resolve this in a way that makes both of us whole. But if it involves you not being whole for the sake of me being whole, I will just have to live with the mistake I've walked into. It will not be the first mistake I've had to walk into and live with. And who knows, maybe it will change me for the better, even if I am colder and stronger and more. What was the word you used?
I said a lot of words. I said a lot of words. I don't know which one you're
But
talking about.
in a bad way. The bad way of saying
Okay.
brave. Spastic,
So
I don't
we
know.
will table this for now. But I ask that if you were to fall in combat or some form of unnatural death, that you will allow me to bring you back the way you were. Dire circumstances, not jumping into it, but if something were to happen, I want your permission to save you.
I give you permission to save me under dire, dire circumstances. If there is another way, though, which I hope to be able to research and see and find out how this all works, because who knows? I'm learning daily. The sun hurts. Blood. Drinking your blood really hurt me more than it helped me. I think I'm just going to lay that out on the table. I don't know why, it just did. But yeah,
Well, I
under
mean, your
dire
first taste of
circumstances,
blood, right?
I did not appreciate that. Okay, I was doing okay. Just give me time to heal. Not in sunlight. Not
I
like that.
was gonna say, if I remember correctly, you were beginning to boil alive.
Because I drank your blood. I was fine.
All right. Well, no, I don't mean to keep you from your watch. I'm gonna sleep.
No, you're fine. You get some sleep. sleep in. School tomorrow, okay? School tomorrow.
We'll find a way down. We'll get back to MistHaven and we'll figure out a problem, solve a problem.
Many problems we face, but they will
Yes.
be exciting, I'm sure.
All right. Well, good night, Nari.
Good night. Have sweet dreams, maybe not of dark towers and, crowns and stuff that could drag us here.
Yes. Hopefully they are of working at the forge, trying to fix a problem that has been brought to me. Good night.
Yes, good dreams, good dreams. Good night.
Nari, is there anything you would like to do during your watch?
Yes. For one, after that conversation with Agrimar, I would like to take a minute to kind of scope the area, make sure everything is still secure and good and as quiet as it has been.
Oh, real quick, sorry to interrupt. Inspiration to both of you two for that.
Oh, thank you,
That
Ryan.
was the shit. That was awesome.
I've been trying to find a different way of
That was an
RP
amazing
this.
in-game RP of the situation.
I'll take it. I don't know how to add it to the sheet. I think I did, but we'll see.
I think you just got to click the box on the
Yeah, I think
edit
I did,
chat
but I
or
also
whatever.
put it in chat, so everyone knows I have it now.
Ooh.
Oh, that's actually a conversation I was planning on the way to the tower, but I'm really glad you started it because I had no idea how to start it. Yay!
Yeah.
I even have like 10 sticky notes of things I was planning.
Oh god, the sticky notes.
So many sticky notes. Oh, okay. But during my watch, yeah, I would like to walk around and make sure that the quiet area is still quiet and everything is still, safe for everyone to be sleeping. And, kind of gaze over onto the Sunken Queen and see them working hard or even sleeping now that it is later. And just make sure everything's good, and then I'll go into more if there's a chance.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check as you're just kind of making your rounds. The rooftop.
21.
Circling about the campsite and kind of just peering over the remains of all these black iron golems and just the rubble that's left over this battlefield. As you're stepping and occasionally feeding in a couple of coals to the Preston fire to keep the light present up here on the tower. As you make your rounds, climb yourself up the ladder and peek over the chimney top, it noticeably feels warmer compared to the cool temperature of the air all around you in the night sky. As you kind of withdraw your head and start making your way back, continuing about the rounds, you too catch the occasional flicker of colored light flashing across and reflecting across the face of the statue of Zomeria in the far distance. And that distant echoing throughout the tower of clockwork mechanisms continuing to tick away. Otherwise, your watch goes unobstructed. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom save.
Okay, I was about to. Okay, wisdom save. A 9? Oh, shit.
Your watch goes relatively undisturbed.
Oh, fuck. Okay, that doesn't, I feel very bad about this now. It's not a good feeling in my stomach. Okay, cool. So, during my watch, as I fail my wisdom save, I would like to pull out my spear as I'm kind of looking over the desert and the sunken queen in front of me. And I would like to try and tune in, close my eyes for a moment, only a moment, just try and like really dig deep into the center of my spirit. And I would like to try and be like, Kronos, you were mentioned today. It has been a while since I've heard from you, at least a couple days. But out of game feels like much longer. And I am curious if this is a pathway you saw for me, Did you know I was going to drink the blood? Is it your voice in the stone that I keep hearing? I feel like I am thriving, but at what cost? And she's going to put her hand in like the same spot Agrimar had his hand. And she's going to be like, my heart is there, but it is not. And I am feeling a little confused as to what is supposed to be done. And she's just going to like hold the staff a little bit tighter and then look over the horizon and just finish her watch there.
Nari, as your attention kind of draws on the far horizon, gripping tightly to your spear, you faintly have this faint image in the back of your mind of just this flash of faces. Like one of those kaleidoscope clicker photographic things with the wheel.
You're breaking in and out on me. Wait.
Oh, I love
The
that.
kaleidoscope?
No, you know one of those
One of
like
those
red
things
things, the goggles where you click them like a glyphograph or whatever it's
It
called.
rotates
Lose him?
the
Am I
picture.
alone?
Amanda, can you hear us?
Amanda?
You're breaking up. Oh, such a good moment. Why does
Is
it have to-
anyone there?
No.
I can't hear it.
Reset.
Oh,
Reset.
no.
Reset.
Wait, just
Oh, if we talk in
Oh,
pauses,
I
she
hear
might
you
hear
now.
us. Okay.
I hear you.
Okay.
I heard kaleidoscope. That was the last thing I heard, and then I went dead. And I was like, wait, no, I want to hear this.
Okay, you know those red kaleidoscope picture wheel things that like you click it in and it rotates the picture to show you a different one right up to your
Yes.
eyes?
Yes.
So it's kind of like flashes of faces like that. You see them. And you've seen these faces
I
before.
know those faces.
You know you've never seen these people before, but for whatever reason you know these faces.
They are on Travash's tomb.
Otherwise, your watch is relatively uneventful.
That doesn't help me. What does that mean? Now I need another sticky note. I did not go and wake
Oh
up.
no, sticky notes.
sticky note for everything. And then I'll go wake up Riffle.
Plunge your
That's
spear
all.
into him to wake him up.
Hello.
Hey, hi King, it is time to wake up. It is your job to protect
me-
us.
Give me like 10 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay, you can
Is
sleep
Sammy
in
go-
too.
Sammy's
I did the
going
same
wild.
thing, Rafal. I did the same thing.
Up and at him, my liege! The day calls for us to begin.
I think
Surely
Sammy's
it's time
going
to
ape
start
shit in
your
the background.
morning exercises.
Sammy is probably going ape shit right now.
Right. Calm down, Sammy.
Such a good dog. I wish I would have been able to be around her some more.
I love all dogs so much. It's a problem. We had the puppy
All
show up
dogs
in our
are
yard. And I was like, David, can we please keep him? He's like, we're not keeping another dog. I was like, but he's here. He's so good. And then he
There were
went home.
3
You know,
doggos walking around the table at D&D last night. It was amazing.
Yeah, sorry. I've got all 3 of the dogs.
Are
and
you
I was
dog
like,
sitting?
okay, I got to take them all out to go to the bathroom. So yeah, so that was fun. But no, there was like another dog over at the dog park, and it was the other dog was going ballistic, and I was just like, fucking control your animal, man.
Get your shit together.
I mean, kind of like fucking pay
My
attention.
3
Your
are just
dog is over
fine.
here,
Deal with your
like, you
dog.
know, like trying to pick a fight with my dogs, and like maybe do something about it instead of just
That's when
fucking
they get the
standing there.
boot. Get out of here.
Cannot agree with you more. My neighbor cannot keep his dogs in his yard, and I'm like, my dogs are in my yard, and they're barking because your dogs are in my yard. Like, get your dogs home.
Yeah, it's like my dogs were being fine. Fucking control your animal. Like, or actually, maybe I don't know, get your dog away from the dog park gate so I can fucking like take mine out. Like, pay attention.
I am with you, 110%.
Anyways, yes,
Stupid.
Rafal gets up for his watch.
I had a dream about dogs too, Rafal. That is very strange. But this
The
is
cat has a dream about dogs.
They were attacking me,
They're interesting
and I just
dreams.
wanted someone to stop them.
She has dreams of hellhounds back in MistHaven.
I fought them off, and I was victorious. It was great.
Oh, you ran from them and got away.
She ran very far.
I consider myself being able to hold my ground. Okay?
You did kill one of them and heal from it, so I agree with that.
I did.
So
To be
Rafal,
fair, this was the first character I've ever had that's been able to do that in a battle on one-on-one. Okay?
Well, you got a monk who's pretty good at that.
Now I do, but I didn't before.
so as Nari wakes Rafal up for his watch, is there anything Rafal would like to do during this time?
Well, I'm assuming that he took the time to attune properly to the sword and to the crown.
Yes, sir.
And so, no, I think he's actually going to have pretty quiet, contemplative morning.
All right. And as the sun slowly starts to rise in the horizon, as once more the entirety of this savanna-like grassland is illuminated by sunlight. As Narig is audibly just screaming in her sleep once again.
Wait, for real?
Wait, does that
No.
actually happen?
No, that doesn't actually
Oh,
happen.
okay.
Man, it just lost everyone again.
Now I can hear you.
Yay!
There we go.
I don't know what's happening because it doesn't even say my connection goes away. But the last thing I heard Nick say was well, so I was like, well, and I was like, I bet you he's talking and I'm just an asshole.
But during your watch, the embers about the fire that was Preston Brentwood,
Huh.
the ashes look to be starting to cool off in that corner of this tower. Preston is no more. He is ash.
Rafal doesn't feel any too emotional about that because he was clearly an
Oh,
enemy of MistHaven, so...
no. Otherwise, the watch continues to be relatively uneventful, and you guys are able to complete a long rest.
Woo.
Hooray!
Man, I'm still down hit dice from this tower.
You could have some of mine.
Let me suck your blood.
That might not end well for you. Go buy become vampire.
Probably
I'm
not.
not sure how it works.
So the embers are cool at this point, right?
Yeah, the embers are cool by the time everyone's waking up.
Okay, Kevin's just going to kind of spread them apart, kind of flutter into the wind, make sure nothing sticks together.
Kevin sweeps.
Yes, I'm sweeping away the competition.
Well, all good scouts make sure that the fire is completely out before you leave.
Only you can prevent forest fires, yeah.
Oh. Wow, I was gonna pick scrying for the day, but I don't have 1,000 gold piece crystal ball. Holy hell. Oh wait, you only need a silver mirror?
Ooh.
Hey, Kevin, you got a silver mirror, right?
I gave it to the dragon.
She's
I
been
gave
showing
it
that to a lot of people.
I gave it to the dragon, so I was like, ooh.
Oh, no. That's all right.
I pissed off the dragon enough that I thought I might as well.
That's all right. I'll get
I have
some
a
once we get
steel
back to
mirror.
MistHaven. I'm
And a
just
fancy
choosing my
silver
5th level
dagger. I'm sure you
spells.
can combine them.
I don't know what I want to choose for my 5th level spell.
I have a small steel mirror, same as Nari, but
No, it's fine. I got it. All right. So, do we want to just climb our way down this tower?
might as well.
I mean, do you have another way of getting down? Because there are no ladders.
Besides through the gauntlet of some form, nope.
Well, how do you plan on getting us to climb down?
I look for the
Unless you have access
least
to the spell
dangerous.
fly.
That's outside my capabilities, Rafal. Otherwise, I would have used it by now.
Sound advice, my liege.
Shut up, you demon sword.
You don't know that was the sword suggestion. You think it came from Rafal.
Rafal. Agrimar would like to look for the easiest side of this tower to traverse down. Least obstacles, I guess, going down.
Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
I can do that. 12.
Coming back around towards the southern side where on the bottom floor is the large archways of the door.
Okay,
you
the
recall
ramp side,
seeing
right?
from a distance. Not so much, unless you're looking for the ramp side.
No, I'm just... Never mind. Continue.
Effectively, what sort of side of this tower are you looking for?
I'm looking for a large enough landing at the bottom of the tower to where we could traverse back down to the ramp to our horses.
So to kind of line it up with the front door, roughly?
Roughly.
Okay. You are able to do so.
All right. Well, if this is the path we're going to take, I can make a rope and we can just rappel down from the top of the tower.
Are we going to go one at a time or all at once?
We can go all at once. That's fine.
All right, let's do it. Let's get back to MistHaven.
All right.
Yeah.
Just give me a little bit of time. So Agrimar begins to do an incantation for creation, which is a 1-minute cast time. And you see that in front of him, he does a series of hand movements, and a portal opens up, and you see that in the portal is a plane of molten material, like metals and things of that nature. And he reaches his hand into the portal and pulls out a rope of dried and twisted, like, black threads. And he pulls it out, and he just continues feeding it out into a space in front of him. And he pulls out 4,000 feet of rope. 4,584 feet of rope. As that's what.
Counting.
So over the next minute, he pulls out all this rope, throws it over a part of the tower, and he holds
Roll me
on.
a perception check to find the front of this rope. Where it starts and where it ends.
I figure I'm feeding it down the tower in one side. So essentially, he's feeding it down the tower, and as he feels it start to gain gravity at the bottom, he's feeding it down. He starts throwing it around the right side of one of the spires at the top to make 2 ropes going down the bottom of this tower, and he's throwing it on either side. So over the course of a minute, there is 2,000 feet of rope going down this tower.
Agrimar is starting to get some serious rug burn.
My arm workout for the day is definitely done. So after a minute, I cast creation and I create a magical rope for 1 day. And so it lasts for 24 hours and we can climb down this rope.
Beautiful. You guys watch as Agrimar performs this miracle and creates something out of nothing. It seems, as he pulls this rope from thin air, from the plane of metal, it seems.
So who wants to go down the magical rope first?
Not it.
Why don't all
I'll
three
go
of you,
first.
all 3 of you hold on to the rope and I'll just let you down the tower.
Why don't you rappel me down, Agrimar, and then you can follow.
We can do that as well. So with the 2,000 feet of rope, Rafal holds onto one end, and I slowly pull the other side up the tower, and feed him down, and he reaches the bottom whenever he reaches the bottom.
All right, it's just a matter of time. So as you guys take the time to do it, you're going to be successful at repelling Rafal down the side of this tower.
All right. Kevin, Dari, why don't you 2 go on the next round and pull you down?
Wait, how do you get down at the end of this?
So, what I'm going to do is hold on to both ends of the rope and slowly lower myself down.
Oh, okay. Well then,
Like a
yeah,
rope
Kevin,
ladder.
let's do it. Buddy system, yeah?
Yeah.
So
you first. No.
with the 2,000 feet of rope, I can let one go and then another one go 30 feet and slowly feed it down. And then once they get down, I can pull on one side of the rope, go around the tower, grab the other side of the rope, and slowly feed myself down.
All right, Agrimar, go ahead and roll me an athletics check
I can
to
do that.
lower yourself.
Oh, not a problem. That is a 25 for Agrimar.
Agrimar is a little bit slower on his own progress than he was lowering each of you successively. But it's only a couple of hours after the sunrise before you guys are back down at the base of this tower. Not too far, maybe 20 feet away from where these massive open archway doors stand. And the warm orange glow faintly reflecting about that bridge, not too far into the entrance.
I make sure to pull down
Distance
on...
inside of there, the echoes of metal scraping against the...
So I make sure to pull down on the opposite end of rope, that is the longer end, and pull all the rope down from the top of the tower back down. And I'm going to do my best sailor's knot to try to tie up the front door so none of these machines come out of this building.
The doors currently are not on their hinges. They're lying across the floor inside of this opened archway.
All right, I'll just create difficult terrain with
Doors
4,000
got
feet of
rusted
rope
off.
then. So I'll throw 4,000 feet of rope in the door and hope that it slows anything coming out.
And as metal, it lasts for...
Well, I
How long?
figured I'm pulling fibers. So this would be like trees, like not rotted, but like singed trees, pulling fibrous
Alright.
cord from there. So it lasts for 24 hours.
All right. So this rope will provide some difficult terrain for a time.
All right, hopefully our horses haven't died. Oh, Brandy, please be alive. And I start heading towards the horses. Nari, are you okay? Do you need an umbrella?
okay. We'll be okay. It's just really uncomfortable and hot, even though it's morning. But you'll do it. It's fine. Just get silver. Let's go.
Do I see that she's in any kind of like excruciating pain or just discomfort?
She looks to be discomforted by the
Nah,
sun.
she can survive it.
Her skin's
All
not
right.
burning.
All right. Wonderful.
It's not
Rafal
melting.
will do his whistle for Epina.
Oh, of course. Magical steed. So we're heading straight back to the caravan, right?
Yes, that's where the teleportation circle is to back to MistHaven.
Yes.
All right. Sally forth and all that.
Yes, and all that.
As you guys
Silver
head off.
away, let's go.
No, Silver, away.
The kick and a hop, your horses take off and continue up in the rough direction where you guys have traversed to and from now, making your way back up towards the statue lying in the red grass. And you guys proceed to do so for roughly 6 hours of travel as you guys are crossing these grasslands before you start approaching the campsite over by the caravan wagons. And you can see all sorts of familiar faces going about their own daily activities. Some of them look to be in the midst of break, enjoying various saucers of tea as these trays with kettles and all sorts of teacups and the like are just hovering right by their side as if held by some sort of invisible servant. As likewise another on the opposite end holding up this umbrella to help provide them some shade. They look to be very much relaxed. But in addition to some of these familiar wizard faces, there are definitely new folk wandering about the campgrounds as well. More of them wearing robes of the academy, but very much in the midst of working about this now active work site, it seems. Moving crates to and from, stacking boxes, unpacking these crates, opening up supplies, and just starting to stock up their inventory.
Well, it looks like they've wasted no time on getting used to that teleportation circle, eh?
Yeah, probably gonna have to leave it here with them. But it's a risk we're gonna have to take.
Yeah, I worry about people coming through, but well, I guess we'll just.
As we're riding up and seeing new faces, I'm going to kind of quiet whisper to the party. Let's make sure that none of them have a golden lotus pin or some such about their person.
How do you plan on doing that? Oh,
Just
excuse me, everyone. I'm just gonna need to do a quick
looking them
inspection
over.
before we leave.
No, just as we're passing through, making pleasantries, just see if there's any dubious folk about.
And just before we get there, so we're on the same page, we did tell Professor Barnaby we're clearing out the rest of the Sunken Queen, or were we gonna go to MistHaven and then come back and do that? What was your plan, Raffle?
I forgot we told him we were gonna clear out the Sunken Queen. If you want, we could do that. I would prefer to go back to MistHaven, though. Can't we just tell them to not go inside?
I think
We can tell them, but we make no guarantees they'll listen.
I can't protect everyone from stupidity, Nari.
Can't protect yourself, so yeah.
Valid point.
I think the wisest thing for us is to go back to MistHaven and go to the library and the academy and find out the most amount of knowledge that we can about the throne, Nari's condition, and the current whereabouts of the Golden Lotus. And we can't do that here at the camp.
Well, if all else fails, there is a teleport, and we can go back and forth as necessary. So if they come into dire need of needing us, we can be here in a jiffy.
As long as we have a wizard to bring us there.
I was gonna say we're gonna need to make a contact at the school that'll do that for us.
Well, wouldn't they have
In
one at the
addition, we're
library?
gonna need to
or-
make sure we get our pay from Professor Barnaby.
Damn straight.
Yes. So all those things, and then to MistHaven.
Yes, I have a gem to buy.
Right, and we have to investigate these documents that we found from Preston.
Mm-hmm.
But you leave that to Kevin and I. While you two go to the library, I suppose.
It sounds like an exciting plan. I
You
am
know what?
so
I am
ready.
dying for some of cookies cooking. I mean, we've been gone for like what, a month and a half? I need some
I can
home
take
cooked
the
meals.
body of Preston out of my bag now. That's gone.
Do you think
Take that out of the inventory. Take these crates out of the inventory. Yeah, you know what? I
the
think.
feather is still open? Do you think they've survived the month without people
Oh,
around?
come on. Bickerstaff
Well,
is so
Bickerstaff
strong.
seems to be like a very competent business owner.
And cookies
Well,
cooking.
I'm excited to
Come
see
on.
what's happening.
She makes the best dishes in MistHaven. They've probably doubled in size since we've been gone.
Fat lizard cook.
Probably feeding the dead to the people that are alive.
Oh no, not another cannibalism person.
Hey, she started it. Yeah, so do we want to just go and take a day of rest, or do we want to go back to MistHaven and get right to work?
I don't think
Let's
so.
get back and see what's going on. It's been a few months.
Right.
But definitely get the hold of Professor Barnaby, get our pay, and make sure we have a way to get back here if necessary.
Right,
Make sure we have the proper connections. Just in
right.
case. And break.
Right.
So somebody go ahead and roll me a perception check.
I'll do it.
Wait, do we all do it or just one?
Can I aid? Because I told everyone
Can
to
I
make a
also
perception check.
4.
Agrimar, go ahead and roll your own.
All right. 18.
You roll. Okay, that's it.
It's because I made sure I didn't completely optimize for Fall. I didn't give him proficiency in perception.
Neither
As
does
Rafal's
Agrimar.
really focusing in on the plan, Agrimar's attention starts to drift a little bit about the campsite as he's scanning for signs of any more members of the Golden Lotus. As he's surveying the crowd, his horse starts to drift a little bit as he hears Nari somewhere behind him call for a break. And he hears the voice, the distinct voice of Professor Barnaby, not too far off, nearby one of the campfires. And as large as that purple worm was, well, I can tell you what, the giantess stood even larger. But I can tell you this, the only one who made it out of that fight, well, odds weren't good for that purple worm. That's right, Kevin, I think, landed the killing blow, if I recall correctly. And I think that's why they call her the giantess, because of the massive kills that she keeps claiming.
I like that. I really like
So
that.
good. Go, Kevin. Go, Kevin.
Oh, I believe here they are now, Agrima. Good to see you, friend. I take it everything went successfully?
Indeed it did, Professor Barnaby. It went swimmingly. I would suggest not sending anyone to the tower, though.
Oh?
The mechanized constructions from a dwarven age. They are held at bay for now. They are autonomous creatures that are constantly being manufactured. We couldn't find a way to solve it, but we did destroy a rather
The old
evil dwarf.
replicating constructs conundrum. It's a bit of a classic as far as course study goes at the academy, as it seems to happen far too often amongst newer wizards, those not quite well versed in the professions of what they are capable of doing. But point noted, the tower will be off limits towards any further such investigations.
You might want to keep a scout looking to the south to make sure that nothing's coming as well.
But will not be ignored. Point taken.
Otherwise, we've dealt a terrible, magnificent blow to the forces of evil that once claimed this land, and Rafal here has far more prestige than when he left you.
Does seem to have a bit of a glow about him, it seems. A real
Billowing nonstop.
warrior step about his.
Have you
Sorry, I'm trying to
delved
Get
deep?
my crown in here.
He puts his crown in. Have you delved any deeper in the last, I don't know, 12 hours into the ruined queen?
As under your specific instructions, we did not. We kept far away from the mouth and only remained about the outside. But in doing so, I think we have a bit of a plan if you're up to it. I recall you mentioning about not too far before dealing with the harpies that you are capable of producing mass structures out of raw materials. I hope you don't mind, but we've been stocking up on such, well, scaffolding and the like. If you wouldn't mind, we could shift and move some of the larger quantities of earth. If you could simultaneously put up such structures, it could help our progress significantly.
I look to the rest of the group and momentarily say, we don't, I mean, we can manage to stay for a little while, correct, everyone?
Anything in the name of history, Agramar. This is very important work that they are uncovering right now. I mean, she's going to look to Rafal, and Rafal and Kevin, oh, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself.
Are you saying we have to stay even longer?
How long, Agramar?
Let me look over the raw materials and, what kind of scaffolding? Are you looking for a full surface area of the statue, or just a small portion?
Well, we were hoping to unbury some of the underside of it. Because it is so submerged within the earth here, we were hoping to move some larger quantities of stone, but we're unable to provide any sort of aid simultaneously as you might be able to. We can create floating platforms that can sustain smaller quantities of weight, but nothing quite that would last for a structure of such significant size, I'm afraid. It can be done, but given a larger stretch of time to ensure everything is done properly and safely, of course.
Agamar can assist with that. That's for sure. And as long as they have the materials, I can fabricate. So they're essentially trying to create a wall to hold sand back.
So effectively, as all the wizards cast move earth under it, you're casting the I believe it's not the creation spell, the other one.
Fabricate, yeah.
Fabricate on the materials that they're accumulating to help immediately provide structural support for the earth that they move at that same time.
Yeah, I can do that. It'll take me about 10 minutes to make sure that it is sturdy, for each section, but I can give you, a solid, let me see how many feet I need. I can give them a solid working area, over each casting, depending on how much area they're trying to uncover.
Wonderful. Are you ready to go now then? Or do you need some time to...
No, I can work right now. Everyone, You guys rest and have breakfast and make sure that we're ready to go, and I can go assist the mages with their digging.
Great.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds like a really good plan. Okay, yeah, super excited to eat some food.
But how long is that going to take again? Not an entire day, right?
No, I can only work for about 30 minutes.
Cool.
So, an hour
Union
tops.
rules.
Yeah, yes, yeah, the earth moving union rules. So I have fourth level spells that I can use for fabricate 10 minutes each. That I can assist with their digging and securing the dig site,
All right.
and I will happily do that.
Everybody else. As Agrimar follows Professor Barnaby away, and several other mages kind of like go with them. They start making their way over towards the kind of the upper side of the statue, towards the head, to with the intent of unburying what they are able to. During this time, is there anything you guys would like to do?
Nari,
Yeah.
want to go see if we can't close the front door to this place?
I was thinking the exact same thing. I figured if we could open it, we might be able to close it. Let us try, at least.
Heavens. Oh.
I got it to work. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's Kevin's going to check up on that. Kevin is going to check up on that the third level of Preston's tower to see if anyone scrawled any graffiti, because last time before she left she wrote something down. So
You make your way back up into the tower, passing by the occasional mage with supplies coming from the top floor. As you make your way up to the towards where the teleportation circle is at, you look over beside your thieves' can, but it looks to be the only thing written upon that wall still.
tight. I'll join the rest of the party.
All right.
Nothing's changed on the third level, just more traffic going through, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Join the rest of the party. And, I don't know, try to help seal the mouth.
So Nari and Rafal, as you two are making your way towards the head of this structure, you're trailing shortly behind Agrimar and the 20 or so mages following them, all making your way towards the head of this statue.
Great.
All right. So as the mages start to encircle the crown of the head that's poking out, you hear them all kind of at their own times begin chanting and casting their own spells. And the earth beneath you starts to rumble a little bit. As suddenly a large portion of the earth is ripped from its place. This 10 by 10 foot cube just shoots out from underneath the head of this statue, revealing the lower half of the face and the upper part of the neck. As the dirt shoots away, a shimmer of a bluish, flat disc-like platform appears in its place, providing a small amount of support for the statue. As you can hear these mages loosing these spells, as the earth continues to shift, one chunk after another shoots off, 5 of them simultaneously, side to side to side, as these disc-like platforms appear again and again and again, another and another, as the dirt beneath this statue is slowly pulled away, and it's being supported by these floating disc platforms. Professor Barnaby looks over towards Agarmar and says, I believe these should do well enough for you. And he points over towards a large amount of lumber, rope, nails, and the like, surplus of construction supplies that it seems he has been preparing for this ahead of any sort of affirmation from you.
Yeah, so Agarmar can do 40 feet at a time, basically constructing a bridge underneath this statue. So he can, as the mages are casting their discs in order to hold this, he is punching his hand through a portal, and the other side, there's another portal that manifests underneath this statue, and it pushes up a giant pillar along with structure across it, making platforms that will hold wherever they're pulling the sand out. And wherever assistance is needed, he can also stop falling sand by pulling the wand out with his offhand and casting fireball to turn the sand into glass to keep it from falling down. And so he's
Agarmar,
kind of alternating between that.
As you loose the first fireball, it's immediately solidifies the glass about the body of this massive statue. And in doing so, you get, as the dirt around it is moved away and the light starts to shine through, you get a relatively clear view of the body of Zomeria. And the bits that were buried look to be starting to crack and ever so faintly start to give way to the ages of time. And amidst those cracks, the vines of this deep red crimson can be seen starting to constrict all through the body of this statue. All that was underground and beneath the surface that you reveal in this moment. And it seems that the vines are creeping and helping to provide the growth for the red grasses about this area.
So as I see those vines creeping out, that is the first
already
place.
Creeped, like they have already been there for some time. It's
right.
just
So as
now
they're
you're seeing them,
as they're exposed, I try to crush them with my fabrication of the platforms, trying to push them back into the structure, because I think of like he's creating like a platform, like however big, and he's pushing it from the ground through a portal with his own hand, pushing it up and touching the structure. So he's trying to push whatever necrosis is coming out back into the structure,
pushing the weeds back in.
Yeah. So as he's doing his offhand stuff with his fabrication, he's trying to fabricate basically a restraint / structure to hold up this tower.
All right. And within a relatively short period of time, this entire structure is almost unburied, and it is surrounded by, almost completely surrounded by this scaffolding, so that the surveyors can reach every possible inch of this statue, it seems.
And Agramar will call out as he's pushing those red vines coming out of the statue. Burn those vines, make sure that they don't spread. Those are evil vines. And he's just kind of making sure the mages take care of the spares as they're coming up.
A couple of more fireballs are going off and fire bolts at some of the smaller patches, and they're starting to burn away the vines.
Can't let the evil spread. And then we do our work.
And within the hour, you guys have successfully unveiled a large portion of the sunken statue of Zomer.
Probably from what the head to like mid torso.
Yeah, roughly.
Sweet. That brings us to roughly under where the that throne was, right?
We can assume.
We can assume. So, Agamar is just drained at this point. He's sweating in the midday sun at this point, and he's just heaving. Good work, everyone. That was eventful, to say the least.
And before long, the professor, after noticeably kind of circling about through the mages that were assisting in the process, seemingly handshakes and congratulations going all around, he makes his way over towards Agrimar and says, "Well, that was even more stupendous than you made it sound on the way here. I think next time we will most certainly take you up on your offer to make a bridge down the cliffside rather than negotiate with harpies. Most certainly. Note has been made of that for sure. That was amazing. I couldn't have asked for something better from the Academy."
Well, thank you, Professor. But it is the will of the three that we see that this artifact of an ancient time is handled delicately and carefully. I would gladly assist you in making a bridge so that more knowledge can be gained from this, and hopefully knowledge of how to change things that might happen in the future.
To the change bringer, then.
I am just a simple fabricator. The maker is fine.
Very well, then, to each their own title, as professors want to know.
I simply provide the path to knowledge and growth. I do not presume to change much.
Well, your help has been appreciated. I did also want to ask the lot of you if you decided if you're going to be taking Preston's wagon with you or keeping it here. I know the last time we discussed, you said that you would sleep on it.
I look to, I guess, the rest of the group if they're on looking, and see if they have any input on this.
I mean, I thought we said we were gonna keep it here so we could like just hop in and get the MistHaven quicker
Oh,
than
that's
having to walk all the way
stupendous!
back.
That's wonderful news.
The leader has spoken.
But we do want to be sure if we were to come back that we have connections on the other side, so we can, as we could also, go back and forth freely. We don't have a teleportation circle in MistHaven that we know of off the hand, so we figured with your
Nor
connections,
do we
could
possess
come.
a mage capable of casting that spell.
Exactly, or a year to be able to have it cast successfully, so we could come and visit you, and on our return be able to finish clearing out the inner dungeon area insides of the Queen Zomeria statue for you. We will have to take a short leave of absence, but we want to be able to get back to you and help you clear it out successfully. So you can do research. But we need the mage connection teleportation circle to be able to get back. I'm with the dog.
We have dogs, apparently. We picked them up in the tower.
Of course, of course. Well, that sounds certainly agreeable, I suppose. If you're going to allow us to retain access to the teleportation circle, I think we can make do with some terms. After all, with your thanks, we do have a significant amount of work here to distract ourselves with now.
Now that you have
And
a mage that is familiar with this particular point of destination, that should be free of access from the academy, correct, Professor?
Well, it has been accessed by several members of the Academy after my return. I hope that is all right. I did distribute the symbols and specific rune work of this teleportation circle among some of my colleagues.
Perhaps we can get a copy of this sigil so that way we can provide it to a mage at the academy so we can return and help with the excavation of this magnificent
Now
statue.
I understand. Yes, you will wish to speak with Jeanette Sterling when you make your way back to the academy. Some of the
I need that
specifics
spelled
have
out.
already been. Oh, yes. Jeanette with a J like Jeanette, an E as in E. Look, it's Jeanette.
Perhaps if you could write it down on this piece of parchment so we can hand it to her directly.
Ah, of course. I
Perhaps the
understand.
best thing to do would be a letter of introduction so Jeanette knows that we're coming from you.
Well, I could introduce you if you'd like. After all, I recall you mentioning that you're going to need some assistance getting back to the academy.
I could create many things, but a portal to another place is not something that I am competent
Yes,
in.
we would appreciate the help, Professor.
No problem at all.
And speaking of the terms of the
Are we getting paid?
teleportation circle, speaking of other terms that we've already come across, we would, as much as I have enjoyed this trip coming back, to MistHaven, we would appreciate the funding that we spoke of previously.
Ah, yes.
Are you
payment for the job.
discussing the payment that I spoke with to your giantess friend? How did you put it? Friendship
No.
that we found along the way.
No. No.
Kevin!
Friendship, among other things that we discussed.
Coin. Moolah. Money.
Oh, yes, most certainly. I believe we discussed 2,000 gold pieces each.
Yeah,
Each?
sure,
Holy
it was
shit.
something like that, yes.
Agamar keeps a straight
Out
face.
of character, my notes say 1,000, but I will not argue with 2.
I mean, I did support this entire statue, so 2,000 sounds magnificent, Professor
And
Barnaby.
he offered bonuses along the way.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
no, definitely. I feel like that is more than reasonable. So I am very excited to. Yes.
Nari, of course, speaking researcher to researcher, I hope you can respect that studies that are taking place here are going to be under the need of some discretion. And I would very much wish that to avoid any sort of confrontation, any sort of published works be discussed before making themselves public to others available, out of mutual respect for each other's professions, of course.
Of course, Professor. Mom is the word. I will not speak a word of this. And if you happen to publish something and mention my name in the works, I would be honored. But
Most
it will not come from my lips or my words or documents first.
I have a feeling we're onto something big here.
I believe you are right, and I am very excited to keep popping in on the progress of what you uncover here. And I do hope to do more research at the library when we get back to see if I can figure out more. And so when we come back, we are better prepared to deal with what is inside. There was a lot of traps, a lot of them, very deadly traps. So just be warned, do not go inside.
All right. Do not enter the mouth. Point taken. Regarding these warnings, traps, and other such deadly combinations you found inside, are there any sort of specifics you could be able to warn us about? Or at the very least, if I could point you in the direction for your research?
Don't sit in any chairs.
What?
There was one thing we maybe came across, but I am running pretty low on items. Have you ever heard of soul stones?
Let's see if Professor Barnaby. Oh, his face goes from like a happy, jovial grin to like a very hesitant, like you just cursed at him or in church or something. His tone noticeably shifts on a dime. He says, "I do not work in such blood magics, I'm afraid. They were banned from the Academy's practices some years ago, for good reason, I believe."
You are probably right in that, but I did happen to come across an instance with a statue that may have to deal with them. So I'm just trying to do more research before I can tell you definitely if that is the case. So just so it is definitely dark magic stuff that we're dealing with in there. That's why you can be aware of the dangers that we may be facing.
Understood. Philosopher's stones, soul stones, and all manner of nastiness about this place. We will certainly have to keep our wits about ourselves.
Yes, be very careful.
And you make sure you use those bracers for good use. Yes, I hope they keep you very, very safe.
Will do, and we'll try to take care of them. There shouldn't be too many more abhorrent fireballs going about this place now.
Yes, I do believe we've done our fair share for the day. Most certainly. Okay, well, maybe we should enjoy some lunch, dinner, whatever time it is, and then we really have to be getting back to MistHaven to do some more research so we can better help you with this study. And I'm sure you have a million questions as to what you're uncovering. And like Agrimar said, be very wary of those red vines that you're seeing. They may be part of that blood magic we were talking about, so it's very, very scary. Just, don't touch them barehanded, and if you have to, use like gloves.
Burn them to a crisp.
Burn them to a crisp. Yeah.
Not to be trifled with. All right. I believe Madeline was going to be preparing one of her stews today. Now that we have access to fresh meat again, we were going to go on a little bit of a treating ourselves.
I agree with that decision wholeheartedly. That is a great idea. Why act like we're stuck in the desert in the middle of nowhere when we have such great opportunities to get fresh meat? Sounds good. Sounds good.
I meant from the city's surpluses, thanks to the teleportation circle. But nevertheless, come, we should enjoy ourselves while still in each other's company.
Huzzah.
The falls like, can we please leave, guys? Oh, were we gonna try and close that door or fall real quick? I didn't know if we were gonna try or not. I mean, I know we told them not to go in there.
Is the mouth still on the ground or is it up in the air now?
The mouth is now like the statue. The dirt around the statue has moved. The statue is still lying at that low angle, but now it's being supported by the structures that Agrimar crafted.
I mean, like when Rafal saw that door open and has walked through it a couple times, does he think that they'd be able to just muscle it close?
You didn't see a door that might be able to muscle.
It just kind of slid back and opened, right?
Because it kind of vanished upon the light from the soul stones.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to close that, Nari.
I didn't think so, but I didn't know if we should go and try just in case, because you never know who might just accidentally sneak in there and drink some crazy liquid they find. But yeah, no, okay,
Just
let's eat some
chance it.
stew and get out of here.
Yep.
Lunch happens. And then the professor starts leading you back towards Preston's wagon. And unless there's anything else you guys would like to do here, he begins preparing the teleportation circle.
Yay!
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah. Let's get back to MistHaven finally.
As he pulls out a stick of chalk and starts scribbling out some runes across the floorboards, scraping and making some very beautiful looking symbols and symmetry about the pattern work. And ever so faintly, that white chalk begins to glow brighter and brighter as he's preparing this spell. He says, "All right, that should just about do it. Now then, the academy, is everyone ready?"
Yes.
Yay!
Ready.
It'll feel good to be home.
Ah,
All right then.
wait,
And
Master
he-
Thief.
And he draws out the last symbol. And there's a blinding flash of white light as you guys feel yourselves soaring across the astral plane as your bodies are ripped from as your consciousness is ripped from your bodies and you guys are yanked thousands of miles across the stars and then rapidly back towards the material plane and the cosmos and rocketing down towards this city in this blinding flash once again as you find yourself blinking your eyes open and your surroundings are completely different. You find yourself surrounded by an enclosed wooden room. The masterwork craftsmanship of this room is very noticeable with these significant amount of carvings in the woodwork. A massive variety of creatures of every type, size, and shape that you could think of are carved into the walls of Professor Barnaby's study, it seems. As you guys stumble out, there's a burning hearth in one corner of the room, a desk with mounds and mounds of paperwork sprawled across it, and all number of ink stains across some of the top parchments. A door that looks to go out into an open hallway, and that corridor seems to lead elsewhere throughout the academy's buildings. As
Guys, next time we're not eating lunch before we do that.
I agree. That was something new.
Can Rafal like walk over to the window and open it?
you make your way towards the window, and as you are reaching towards the knob on the window, it twists and turns itself as it drifts open in front of
Rafal just takes a deep breath of the ocean air.
and all the familiar sounds of the city come rushing back in.
We're back. We made it.
We're alive!
We're alive! Yay! Well, mostly, but yay!
Ugh.
We did it.
I
I want to go over to Professor Barnaby's desk and look at his papers. So many things. just
He's there with us.
appealing.
Mari, as you make your way over towards the professor's, he teleported you, which means he's with you.
Oh, well, that's fine. I would still definitely go look at his things. Look at all of this studies. There's so many things to look at.
Mari, amidst some of the top parchments and books open, you can see a relatively familiar chicken-like creature, this almost reptile with pink feathers.
The flamingo!
The
Cockatrice.
But the flamingo bird.
Yes. The same one that you guys recently encountered. As well as drawings and depictions of a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a giant mounted on top of it. several series on these massive reptilian dinosaurs that you guys passed by on some of the valleys. Another of this lioness manticore with the scorpion-like tail and bat-like wings that you guys fought off. It seems as though he has dispersed a variety of the notes he has taken thus far and stashed them back here at home.
Aww.
You have been so very busy already, Professor Barnaby. I am looking forward to see what your future holds.
Well, as a zoologist, it is my own duty and to enjoy my studies.
Oh, most definitely, yes. Most definitely.
Oh.
These are just
Oh
fantastic.
no.
What?
Oh no.
What?
Kevin,
What?
you know who got left behind?
Fuck! I knew it! It was Humphrey! We fucking left Humphrey! How could we have done that? It slipped my mind! Why did we do that?
I mean, I left my
That
horse
giant
too.
is going to be pissed.
As
Yeah,
you
but
look
you
and
didn't
see
make a
upon
deal with
us
the
standing
giant.
outside of the window.
Oh my god. The giant is going to be so pissed.
I wasn't there for that session. What kind of accord did you have with the giant?
A blood oath.
I accepted a giant was herding camels, and I was like, hey, I kind of need a camel, and she goes, oh yeah, just take care of it, you know?
He'll be alright with the camp.
Hey, Professor Barnaby, since you're gonna be going back there, do you mind? You can use them, for your own work, but could you take care of our creatures that we left behind with you, perhaps?
It would be a privilege to keep the creatures company.
She's going to give a thumbs up to Kevin.
Oh my god, I left.
See?
Kevin's
Problem
just
solved.
down in the corner.
Wait.
Sorry, I didn't think of it until we were standing here. I was like, oh,
What are
poor
we gonna
Humphrey.
do with a camel in MistHaven? Like, honestly.
I don't
Ride it
love
around.
it.
Ride a camel around
If you'd
MistHaven.
like, after we finish delivering the supplies we are bringing over, I could see to it that some arrangements are made for your friends to be returned to the Phoenix Feather Inn, if you would like.
Yes, that's exactly what we would
I
want.
would
That's
like
just
Brandy. She is a good horse.
Yeah. Brandy's fine, but yeah.
I could prepare transportation for the two of them then.
Oh, thank God. That's all that matters right now,
Oh, Professor, it's been a pleasure, but I'd like to get home now.
Yes, I understand. As he pulls out a copper wire and holds it taut in the palm of his hand, and he whispers into it. And in a few moments, you hear the audible clicking of heels across the hall, echoing as somebody is approaching. And before long, you catch sight of this blonde-haired woman with a very tight braid into the back of her head, and
I remember her.
this large braid falls across down to about her mid-back. This one massive braid. She's dressed in the robes of the academy, but has the sash and garb of a professor. As she is standing here in the doorway, she pushes up her spectacles, looking into the room, and says, "Professor, good to see that you've returned so soon. I take it that the priest was prepared on this afternoon, then. Good to hear it. Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Jeanette Sterling. I'm sure the professor's told you all about me and has discussed everything that you need to know going forward." Her eyes kind of lingering upon Nari.
Nari doesn't remember her, but Phelan does. Isn't she the same girl that
Oh, the one that was in the pub?
the one I made her coffee cold?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Different
remember
character.
her. But I don't think Nari actually had any interaction.
Phelan
Amanda remembers her.
hated her.
Rafal will
Phelan's
walk
least favorite
forward.
NPC.
Yeah.
Rafal will walk forward and he'll shake her hand. It's a pleasure to meet you. Rafal Edia.
That is a very firm handshake.
Allow me to introduce my companions. Nari, Kevin the Giantess, and Agrimar.
Yo.
Hello?
Pleased to meet you. I have heard some of the professor's exaggerations already, but it is always good to put a face.
We can assure there is no exaggerations when he's speaking of us. And she will wink.
Oh, don't.
Agramar reaches out a hand and says, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I can't talk. Never mind.
Now then, as far as payment goes, the professor seems to have some discrepancies as to the original documents that were requested. As I understand it, originally his bodyguards were to be paid a set sum per day, roughing out to an estimate of about 1,000 gold pieces in total. But the estimates that he brought back seemed almost double in number. I was hoping that there weren't any troubles along the way.
There were some extra security measures that needed to take place.
Understood. All right. Very well then. The 2,000 gold will be prepared for you. Are you okay taking platinum?
Yes.
As she kind of waves her hand and 4 pouches of about 200 platinum each just sacks land onto the professor's paper.
I'm gonna faint, y'all.
Kevin is like,
Is this the most gold Kevin's ever had?
Paul's gonna just scoop them up and toss one to everybody and put one on his own pouch and say, pleasure doing business with you.
Kevin, could you carry that much weight?
Oh my god, it's just shut. Oh my god. Oh my god, this makes me so happy. Yeah, I actually don't know.
I
Probably not.
would like to know how much 200 platinum weighs according to a halfling.
Honestly, most of the weight in my inventory is just dedicated.
Maybe we won't talk about weights and inventories. Ryan never asks.
I know. I just like to think.
Mooch off of Kevin's coin total.
No, I just like to think that this bag is half the size of her.
As large as Kevin's coin purse might appear to be, it seems the halfling's resolve when it comes to coin has no weight.
Love it.
And they are very specific when it comes to counting their coin and knowing what they are.
I thought that was the dwarves.
Miss Sterling, it is a pleasure, but I need a shower, so I will be returning to the Phoenix Feather Inn.
All right, I can see you to the gate to make sure that your exit is approved.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Barnaby still with us or no? Or...
Yeah,
I'm
we're in his
still
office.
here in the room, yes. Is there anything else you needed, Kevin?
No, you've been just the wonderful person ever. Oh my god, the amount of money. Thank you so much.
this was the best friendship anyone could have ever asked for.
I will cherish this friendship till the end of my days.
Yep, that was a long, strange journey. But we're back.
It's not over yet. There's still more to do.
Let's see, the invasion of...
Yes, speaking of which, Jeanette, we are going to need to file some permits to have them return to the grounds of the Academy to make use of our teleportation circle should the need arise for their return to the statue. I'll see to it that it is drawn up in my name, and I will sign to it. But whensoever they choose, they are welcome to be guests of the campus.
Phelan maybe couldn't get into the academy, but Nari sure as hell can.
Remind me, Ryan, is Professor Barnaby a human?
Yes.
So I kind
Always
of...
has been.
Well, Nick, I've been drinking. So I kind of bend down graciously and I extend my hand to Professor Barnaby and say, if you need any help, I will come at my earliest I can. Just send me a message and I'll get there as soon as I can to help.
to the Phoenix Feather Inn, because that's, where we are often. So.
Oh, we're going to sleep in a bed for the first time in months.
I know. I want a bath so bad.
Oh my god.
Nari can't take baths anymore. It's water.
Aw.
Don't
As
worry.
you guys are led through this large courtyard of the academy grounds, out the building into the courtyard grounds of this massive facility, the academy, and you were just walking about maybe 70 feet towards where the front gate is at from the building that you guys teleported into, the professor's office building. And as you guys are making your way towards the gates, it just looks to be a large open archway from this end. And as you guys are continuing to make your way around, Jeanette begins discussing terms of your return to, should you have the inkling to actually return to assist the professor in his studies, do make note of the location specifically upon which you are stepping out, as the gate does not appear once you're on the other side of the wall in very much one of those exclusive things.
You need to know where it is to find
That's
it.
wizard stuff.
Yes,
Understood.
I don't want to explode your muggled brains.
Please, if you've seen as much as I have in my life, you'd be amazed.
He's still the same. No.
As she leads you guys out, and immediately the lighting shifts around you, which is a strange alteration of perception as she steps through what on the far side appears to be a solid wall all around the walls of the academy, stepping right through it, through this archway where the gate was a moment ago. And all the city sounds return. The carriages rush by on the roadways, and you guys are back amongst the common folk of the city of MistHaven.
Yeah, show me
Yes,
that
back in
sweet
the
map.
city.
Oh
Yes.
wow, how long has it
Oh
been?
my god, Zephyr is still on the map. And
Oh my,
Yannick-
Yannick's still on the map.
It's been a minute.
Wow.
Oh my god.
It's so sweet. Look at it. Look at it.
If I may
My
do
token
the
in the
honors.
top left still says like 91 HP.
If I may do the honors, I hold up Pharaoh's Innocence, bellowing my voice, and I say, "The wheel!" And I call a cab.
Taxi!
And within moments, a carriage slows to a stop from next to where you are standing, and the driver hops down and happily opens the door of the carriage and says, "Where to this evening, my fine lords and ladies?"
The Phoenix Feather Inn, please.
"Off of Elm Street, a relatively popular place as of late.
So
Hi ho, Silver!
I'm glad-
Away!
I'm glad you're doing well, good sir.
Silver.
And you guys are rushed by, and the houses and buildings, apartments and businesses just flash by as you drift block after populated street through this city. And the horse continues barreling down these roads, but it's not too long before it slows to a stop on the familiar street, Elm Street. And he slows to a stop just outside of the warm light wafting outside of the windows of the Phoenix Feather Inn. Slowing to a stop, you hear a voice echo out, "All right, for the four of you, that will come to a total of 4 gold pieces."
I got it.
For fault. Oh, okay.
Agrimar pays the 4 gold.
All right.
Remember when we used to not be able to afford taxis?
I know, right?
Look at us now. Don't forget to tip him, Agrimar.
Of course. Blessings of the 3 be upon you. And I give him an extra 5 silver.
Much appreciated, my fine sir. Always a pleasure to help the students of the academy. Have a good afternoon, as he snaps the reins and the carriage takes off down the street. and you guys can start to hear the audible commotion coming, just kind of wafting, as all the voices of a clear crowd echoing outside from the Phoenix Feather.
Rafal's gonna walk up to the door and he's gonna turn back to the other three and he's gonna say, "You ready?"
Hopefully they still have my room.
They gave all of our rooms away. No beds for us.
I believe, Rafal, a billowing action is predated for this.
Rafal uses his bonus action to make his cape billow and he pushes open the door.
As Rafal pushes open the door, Cape billowing to his side, the entirety of the very populated Phoenix Feather Inn slows to a quiet for just the briefest of moments as everyone's attention turns towards these rushing open doors, as the music playing stops as well. And across the way, on the other side of the bar, tending to business, looks to be an elderly furbolg by the name of Bickerstaff, who looks excited to see some familiar faces here. All about this place seems to be a hustle and bustle. There look to be 24 tables, all littered with chairs. Almost every seat in the house is full up. Everybody is in the midst of drinking, playing cards, throwing darts, playing music, arm wrestling, and just having a relatively jovial time. You see the occasional drinking contest that you walk by and a few people mid-meal, and just the warm, delicious smells drifting out of the kitchen are just mouth-watering after all your months of travel and some of the home-cooked meals that you've had to endure. Welcome back home.
Oh, man. Who's in my chair?
Isn't this a sight for sore eyes?
I want to know who's in my giant iron chair.
Close to the fire. It'll be nice and toasty over there.
Rafal's gonna walk up to the bar. Bickerstaff, it's good to be home.
Good to see you too, Rafal.
Looks like business is doing well.
We've been booming since opening night.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Can I get you a drink?
Absolutely. And a round for everyone on the house.
There's no.
Yay! I'm so excited.
All cheers as everybody is happy about this. Agrimar, you make your way over beside the hearth fire, and seated in your metal chair is a relatively smaller folk strumming a lute mid-performance. A jovial bard of some sort, mid-song. He's got a bowl cut, and he looks to be wearing clothes that are a size or two too small for him. But it seems as though some of the closer patrons are enjoying the music.
I go over and I sit next to him cross-legged. I'm not going to interrupt a bard in his performance, and
All right.
I'll sit next to him and just enjoy the music.
As the song continues to drift on, it goes on and on about a wicked crocodile meeting its just end inside of the shimmering stream, and may it ever rot at the base of the water, where its soul deserves. Basically a big old fuck you to Corbin Reed.
Oh, I like that story so much.
But yeah,
And he
it is
starts
a
singing about the Witcher and tossing a coin.
You do see several chips clanking across the tabletops in his direction after the song concludes. And he seems to take a bow and start scooping up some of the coins nearby. As his attention falls over towards you and says, "Well, you look interesting."
No, me?
Yes, he is.
Couldn't be
Agrimar?
talking to anyone else around you. You certainly fill a room.
Well, yes, I tried to keep a low profile, but yes, I absolutely love your song. It brings a warm feeling to my heart.
Appreciate it, friend.
Tell me,
It's
do you
always
know
a
any?
good time here.
What? I'm sorry.
I was simply commenting on the atmosphere.
Yes.
Did you want an autograph or something? I could
No.
see if someone has a quill or a parchment nearby. Excuse me, sir. Sir, have you got an ink quill and a parchment I could borrow for my friend here? He's a fan. And the guy that he's asking just kind of shrugs him off.
Tell me, friend, where? Who are you and where have you come from?
I'm the one and only James Mook. I come from here and there and a bit of everywhere.
Josel, tell me, do you know any tales from a land far off I hope to escape?
Oh, I've got tales of all variety of the sweet succulent sirens drifting and luring those lovers to the deep depths of the ocean's waves, to the scaled dragons climbing high atop the mountains, just beside and jutting outside of the draconic ocean seas, the coral reefs deep below, and some of the nightmarish depths that surround, of the far, far reaches of the empire, and the drifts and shades and shimmer of color as all the flowers about the bloom turn with the seasons. As the cherries blossom and the color changes. What sorts of tales are you in the mood for, Fred?
I tell you what, the journey that I've been on has been troublesome and tiresome. If I give you 10 gold, will you play a series of tales to make me forget about my woes?
I think I'll start your stories off with a very brave damsel and how she fared off against these great three grizzlies by her lonesome. The heroine by the name of Goldilocks, and he starts going off on this illustrious tale, and some of the nearby patrons start pulling up chairs and listening in as well.
Yeah, Agramar is just going to take the drink that was provided from Rafal and just lose himself for the night and just try to, clear his mind while these songs are playing.
Agramar starts relaxing. What's everybody else doing?
Rafal's going to be catching up with Bickerstaff just about what's been going on in the city over the last few months.
Collecting his back pay?
We're going to make some rolls on that later, I'm assuming.
I've been making a couple of rolls and they keep coming up amazing for the freaking Phoenix Feather Inn, so they might have to expand soon or something.
It fits in the budget.
Right? But yeah, they are doing very well for themselves. And Bickerstaff kind of tells you what with the season of the summer coming to an end and winter drawing closer, things are starting to settle down a little bit in the city as more and more of the farmers are making their way out from the farmlands and back into the city for their winter jobs as schedules start to shift and change a little bit. As the temperature also starts to change, it's noticeably dozens of degrees colder now than when you left the city, as winter's just around the corner. But the city seems to be kind of mellowed out a little bit on the glummier gray side, that fall just before winter attitude and mood set about the city, just kind of gray overall. there hasn't really been anything great happening recently, but likewise, there's been nothing terrible as well.
What about the cleanup after the Longacre incident?
Well, a whole lot of effort went into the original cleanup, but it seems as though most of that is just going to have to be left as is, as most of it is just torn into so structurally damaging the buildings that a large amount of the workforce coming from the nearby farmlands is going towards still continuing to try and clean that up. They don't seem to have made much of an impact as far as the cleanup of the vines and plant life goes.
Wow. Uh, what about Cassandra Creed? How has she been as of late? Any contact with her?
The field marshal has dropped by on occasion when we've had to throw the rowdier customers out, but otherwise it's been relatively smooth sailing for her, I think. I believe she's caught back up on sleep recently, and it seems as though blackjack activity has been down about the area, so I think she has fewer complaints than usual.
Hmm. What about good old Alistair Vencarlo? Have you seen him around lately?
Last I heard, he was taking a bit of an effort into his course and studies, and specifically working on I guess it was a new year of students of some sort. He's been
Really?
relatively closed off into his up into his academy.
I'll have to pay him a visit.
Also, if it's of any note to you, you may wish to stay away from some of the lower altitudes of the city, as it seems some of the folk about the docks are getting sicker. It's probably nothing simple fall flu, but just to take note.
Any specific area of the docks?
About the fishing districts, where the reef claws typically are.
Hmm. That's unfortunate. Hopefully it doesn't turn into anything that sweeps the city. Epidemics can be dangerous.
The city's clerics are very confident that it's going to be cleaned up about the same time as it takes every season that these things happen.
How are Shelby and the other wharf rats doing?
And he kind of looks side to side as he looks over to see one of the off-duty city guards, and he just kind of like pulls you towards the other side of the Phoenix Feather Inn as he hands off a round of drinks to that table. He says, "They stop by out back on occasion, and I make use of the occasional opened room for them when they stop by."
Good. I'm glad you're taking care of them. I appreciate that, Bickerstaff.
I think they're doing a better effort of keeping us safe and taking care of us. On more than one occasion, I've been roused in the middle of the night by the sound of somebody yelping and screaming about a goddamn kid on the roof with a catapult or some such. A slingshot? I don't know. Something about him being hit in the eye.
Well, that's excellent.
But yes, are you going to be regaling us with tales of your travels? One would expect you have quite some stories to tell.
That we do, I suppose. And yeah, Raval will, after one of the bard's like songs is finished, he'll stand up at like near the bar and just say, "Does everyone want to hear a tale?"
And there's a relatively eye of approval.
And Rafal will tell the whole story minus some of the more sensitive parts that he knows not to share. And also, like, parts that Professor Barnaby wouldn't want shared, and, but the general gist of the story.
He told a fairy tale based on actual events.
Yes.
Based on a true story.
But he will tell the entire story of the tower finding the crown and reclaiming the sword.
Go ahead and roll me a performance check. With advantage.
19.
Yeah.
The tavern is enthralled with your story. New people occasionally come in and try to chime in, like, hey, what's this guy on about? And he's like quieted down almost immediately by those beside him, like down to a whisper. Everybody's just kind of listening to you tell this whole story of the party's journey. This is certainly going to improve the popularity of the Phoenix Feather Inn.
Now we definitely
Could have to open another
expand.
business in another district.
Don't want to compete with yourselves.
Well, while Rafal is regaling his tale, I'm going to quietly in the corner send a message to Trinia. As I haven't contacted her in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So I'll say, I've got it written out here. Linnea, it's Agrimar. Hope you're well. I have encountered many things that have left me with many questions. How are you? How are your studies? Are you doing well? And that's my 25 questions. Or 25 words.
In the moment, you hear this kind of jostled response. What the? Who? Huh? Agrimar? What the heck? How do I hear you in my mind? Where are you? School's fun. Swords are cool. Then Carlos been taking care of me as well as the church. He's been kind of brushing me up a little on occasion. And just kind of like she starts to trail off specifically about the sword play as the message reaches its limits and gets cut off.
I'll go ahead and send another message and say, are you learning a lot about the three and their divine purpose? Are you learning to help people? Are you learning to be a light amongst the darkness?
Yes, I've learned the lessons. I'm paying attention. I've learned that there are fights that the smart can't fight their way out of. That there's things to know that aren't worth fighting over. And that in the end, it's all about coming together and just living with each other. Because in the end, we're all we've got.
I will send one more message and say, I am glad you're doing well. I'm sorry that I haven't contacted you sooner. Please keep looking to the light and keep following the path that I have laid out for you. It will bring you great joy and a purpose that you didn't have before.
Thanks, Aggie.
That's all I get back. Thanks, Aggie.
That's all you get back.
All right.
Thanks, Aggie.
All right. I figured I'd try. Akmar is happy by this and knows that she's doing well and she's progressing. So he's kind of spent. He's had his drink. He's feeling a little wobbly and he's ready for bed.
All right. So what are Kevin and Nari getting up to?
Getting shit faced and getting shit faced and playing some darts.
All right. Kevin, go ahead and roll me a dexterity check.
Oh yeah, I'm really good at this one. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's dexterity. Please tell me it was good. Are you fucking with me?
Was a saving
that
throw?
was a
You need a
saving
check.
That's a
throw.
save.
Oh,
so
thank God.
roll me a dex check.
Thank God. Well, I'm really good at dexterity. No,
Oh
I'm
my
better
god.
than- Are you fucking with me?
After a couple of drinks, Kevin stands up and has a little bit of a wobble to her as she makes her way over towards the darts area.
You're finally
And she's hitting-
relaxing! Yay!
She's hitting the dartboard sometimes. She looks to be enjoying herself.
Damn right, I'm enjoying myself, y'all. I just went through an entire desert and I fucking lived. How many of you assholes can do that? Not a lot. Woo!
Woo.
Gonna keep drinking, man. Just keep going at it.
How about Nari?
Okay, so Nari's going to stay cuddled up by the fire for a little bit, and as Rafal starts to get more and more into his story, she's going to take this time to excuse herself. She's going to take a good large glass of scotch, and she's going to go and find her room, and she's just going to go sit up there and meditate for a little bit, deciding what her vision meant previously, see if there's more visions that come, and I'm sure eventually just passing out. But she's just going to enjoy the calm of being in a room and meditating with the staff on her
Alright.
lap and just, taking it in at their back.
You guys relax and drift yourselves off into sleep after a relatively warm homecoming. You find yourselves drifting off one by one, later and later, as the night goes on. And despite the rumblings and audible commotion happening in the dining room, the room's quality as far as soundproofing go have noticeably seen an improvement. And you guys are drifting off into La La Land before long. Nari. At some point in the night, whether it's from the bottle of liquor that you were drinking or some other cause, you feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. Can I get you to roll me initiative, please?
Oh shit.
What?
A 9, that's not good.
Morning?
Wait, I have advantage on initiative.
Yes, weapon warning.
Okay.
Oh,
Shit.
Nari.
Shit. I was sleeping, I was relaxed, I was meditating, I had some scotch,
You're
guys. Give me a
scotched up.
break. I thought we were
Alright.
done with this. Shit.
Nari, your hair stands on end, and you're a little bit kind of burritoed in your blankets right now, and a little bit struggling a little bit to get out and onto your feet. As in the next room, Kevin, your eyes just kind of shoot open, and standing in the corner across the room is a figure stepping out from the shadows, and they look to be drawing a small blade.
Oh god,
And
it's
the
Yannick.
creeping smile of Verauter is
Oh,
looking
fuck.
down at you.
Who?
As he
Fuck.
steps a little
Broader?
bit closer.
Shit.
Broader's new.
What? Do I roll? What the fuck do I
Kevin,
do? Can I attack?
Go ahead and roll me some initiative.
Is that name familiar to anyone? That's, I don't.
Oh shit.
Doesn't
I
sound
can't-
familiar to me.
Shit.
I think it's
I
someone from
can't.
Kevin's backstory. It's not Brodrin, which is
Yeah, no, I remember
the
Padre.
yeah. Broader is different.
Yeah, no, it was the one that Preston mentioned. It is from Kevin's back. I can't.
Oh,
roll, I need to
God.
look in.
Oh,
Oh, does Kevin not have a
You
token?
might have to. There we go.
Does this have to
It
do
should
with
be up at
Dara?
the top of the map.
Dara?
Yeah, 22.
All right. Kevin, as you look across the room and see this figure stepping from the shadows and creeping closer, what would you like to do?
Throw a dagger.
Roll me an attack roll.
A 12.
Dagger flies through the room and just smashes into the wall behind him. It seems as though you're still a little bit wobbly from the drinks this afternoon.
So I'm still kind of drunk? All right.
I'm saying just from the miss.
Shit. Well, fuck.
You were in bed. You just got woken up. You threw a dagger. I mean, you can't be precise.
No. But, I mean, it was hella cool.
I loved it.
Nari.
I'm redoing myself and getting out of bed and trying to figure out why I have this uneasy feeling because I know there's something here.
You stumble towards your door, throw the door open, and there are 3 other doors to your compatriots up and down this hallway.
I
Whose
go
door are
to
you
the
running?
left.
Whose door are you running to?
Whoever is closest on the left.
Am I still downstairs, or have I been moved upstairs?
I honestly don't remember where my room was.
I was down by the kitchen originally, but I don't know if
I know that
I've
was
gotten
Deborah's
moved
room.
because of the people, or
Can we have an in map, please?
can
'Cause I
we
do
have our
not
in
remember
map,
what this
Brian?
is like. Because I'm like, I don't remember at all what it was like.
I remember it vividly. You were up on the top floor. There was Yannick that was up on the top floor.
Bigger Steph had the room on the top floor, didn't he?
Rafal did, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever had like an official room for Bickerstaff. But
Well,
yeah,
Yeah,
no, Bickerstaff's
he had
room
the
was
fireplace,
up. This was
yeah.
Bickerstaff's room when he got attacked by the mechanical spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
down on the first floor.
I have since assumed that was Rafal's room now.
Well, we did get an expansion to the inn, so I don't know where our new rooms are.
So, Nari,
Well-
whose door are you opening?
You would be in Phelan's room, I would assume.
Would I hear any sounds as soon as I open my door? To give away to which way I might go.
Roll me a perception.
We're all good.
11.
You hear some of the drunken murmurs echoing from downstairs of some people who are drinking way, way late into the night. It's like 4 a.m. and they're still going.
Okay, in that case, I'm swinging the first left door open if I'm in Phelan's room, I'm assuming. So, this door.
All right.
Swinging it open.
So, is this Kevin's room?
It's either that one or this one.
So, I guess this is a question for Rachel.
Or this one, I guess.
Which room is Kevin's room? Ba-da-da-da.
Can I roll for it? Because I want it to be the one that Nari opens, but I feel like that would be a cheat.
Well, I would assume that she's going to Kevin's room, whichever room Kevin is in, as opposed to just opening a door random.
So you can pick whichever room and I'll go to, because all the rooms you have to pick are to the left. So.
Okay, yeah. Then I guess this one.
All right. All right. So, Nari, as you run over to Kevin's room, what do you? You stare at a closed door.
Okay. I go to the door and I swing it open.
Throwing open the door, you can see inside Kevin is hovering about 2 feet above the bed sheets, just drifting there, struggling amongst herself as she floats just above her bed sheets. Eyes rolled back into her skull. And I think that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh,
What?
she's
Do I
possessed.
see anyone else in the room? Wait, what?
Oh, Come on.
You don't see anyone else in the room.
What?
Oh my goodness.
What the fuck?
Kevin's
Welcome back home!
I thought we would have one good night, guys. I even went and meditated before bedtime.
I'm
thought
having
it
a
would be
good sleep. I'm on the bottom floor. I don't know what you all talking about.
Only you had tipped that guy 6 silver pieces instead of 5. None of
That's
this
my
would
fault.
have happened.
Can
That was awesome, guys. Had some real
That was
character
good.
development this
Oh,
session.
that
I
was
would
so good.
say.
So good.
For sure.
Holy shit!
I was-
Back in this.
I know. I was getting
It's
ready.
officially the MistHaven campaign again.
All right, not the desert campaign.
Feels weird. What do we do?
Well, I mean, study, I guess.
I really
Wow, I
need to
mean, we're-
catch up all of my notes from
Let's just say we're gonna go
previously.
investigate
Holy,
all of this.
so many questions.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've got all that, and then we have the tomb underneath Phelan's Manor.
The Seraph Manor.
The Seraph Manor. We've got to go to the library on top of that stuff. And then Agrimar has to either talk to Vior or someone in town to get some materials for components. That's on my list.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend the next week organizing my notes, putting them in my book the right way, get rid of a lot of sticky notes, and then write all the questions down that we have to investigate.
And then you have to get out of a whale.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why we weren't so excited about making it to the Grand Line. Because, like, oh, well, we only kind of made it.
We made it, but we're in the whale, so I don't feel like it's a win.
Wait,
It's like, once we get out of the whale, then I feel like we made
Then
it to
the
the Grand
adventure
Line.
really begins.
We can take that sigh of relief and be like, yay, we did it! But until then, we're like literally whale food.
Oh, good session, right?
nice.
I don't know where to go from here, really. I mean, there's a couple of things, but past the couple of rolls out of study or something, I have no idea what we're doing.
I'm sure after we figure out some stuff, we'll be like, oh, that's what we need to do right now. So.
This is the second person. We've got the Queen and we got Kevin that are dealing with some kind of night terrors. There's something else going on in the city besides the demons and the blood curse. Now we got night terrors. I have no idea what we're supposed to do.
We're gonna
Tune
burn
in
the whole place to the ground.
next time.
Right?
Next time. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Later.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Have a nice one.